festival this summer, this is the one your family can't miss. Make plans to be at one of Chicagoland's favorite festivals, Eyes to the Skies, June 30th through July 2nd. The Lyle Eyes to the Skies Festival has been entertaining folks for over 30 years with morning and evening balloon launches, balloon glows, nightly fireworks, and live music on 2 stages. Plus, a new addition to this year's festival, Team Fast Tracks, America's skydiving team performing daily skydiving shows. And there's a carnival with rides, craft fair, a huge kids area, and over 50 unique food vendors. Ever wonder what riding in a hot air balloon feels like, but are a bit nervous? Try a tethered balloon ride. Take some amazing pictures from this incredible view. Make plans now for the Lyle Eyes to the Skies Festival, June 30th through July 2nd. Admission is just $10 each day, with kids under 8 free. See eyes-to-the-skies.org for locations of free parking and shuttle service, complete balloon launch schedule, and all the info you'll need for an awesome weekend. Don't miss the Lyle Eyes to the Skies Festival, June 30th through July 2nd. A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Go to our website, greatparkinglots.com. Check it out, greatparkinglots.com.
Go to greatparkinglots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
5:10. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Pike. River North is a mess with the closures. You mentioned the fatal collision, which has the Ontario feeder shut down. Westbound Ontario Street is closed at Orleans. Those of you who try to get out of downtown in that area on weekday afternoons when that ramp is backed up, know what that's like. Well, this is even worse with the closure. The arterial streets are jammed. If you're trying to get out of River North, you're going to want to head away from this mess and try to head up perhaps toward Division or south toward Congress, depending on where you're going. But it's maybe shut down for a while with the ongoing investigation. Big problems on the inbound Bishop Ford Freeway. The jam right now starts at the Stony Island feeder. There is a vehicle fire on the inbound Ryan. This is between, we're trying to nail down the location here, but this is between 95th and 87th, it appears, and we've got a right lane blockage. The Bishop Ford has a travel time of 40 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. Fine outbound at 15. I-57 is backing up 21 minutes from I-80 to the Rhine. The CTA has delays on the Blue Line. This is due to police activity at Irving Park, mainly affecting Forest Park-bound trains. Traffic, it's a service of CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. Everyone's doing it. Everyone is testing for HIV. Lead by example. Knowing your HIV status allows you to stay healthy. It's fast, free, and confidential. Make HIV testing a part of your routine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. The latest this morning with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A mix of sun and clouds with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, along with a shower or thunderstorm spots for the afternoon and a stray shower in the evening, high 73. Mainly clear night, low 51. Sunshine tomorrow, high 77. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Our updated temperatures officially in Chicago, it is 54 at O'Hare. 59 along the lakefront, 60 at Midway, and this morning it is 50 degrees in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So it's happening. At least I thought it was happening.
Go ahead.
Chicago's becoming East Berlin. I was almost unable to get out of the city this morning. And so I assume one day, very much like Miggs, you'll wake up and there'll be access through the runway. One day you're going to wake up in Chicago and you're not going to be able to get out.
Well,
And today I thought was the day.
yeah. So because there was a fatal crash on Ohio Street between Erie and somewhere. I don't know exactly where it was, but it was in River North. And a woman hit a utility pole, and it was shut down. And I thought, you're never going to make it to work today.
Well, look.
So how'd you get here? Who did you jump? What did you do?
I don't have a queasy stomach. I can take the blood and guts. Just keep one lane open so I can get out. I mean,
But it's
not
a
to be
police
insensitive, but
investigation. Somebody maybe.
It sounds like you've already cracked the case.
Well, she ran somebody. Maybe there. I don't know. Mike Scott maybe can help us out. There's two people or one person in the car, but one person is dead after hitting a utility pole.
Yeah.
Female passenger is dead. The driver ran off. That's
there you go.
part of it. And the vehicle is
Wasn't
in
Lance Briggs, was it?
several. No, this didn't happen on the Edens Expressway.
Oh, okay. Well,
And
that's
he
the
did
difference.
abandon the vehicle.
He didn't
Yeah.
run
Oh
in-
yeah, he did run
to-
away though. You're
He
right.
ran into the forest.
That's right.
He
I
went
get
to
it.
live in the forest for a time.
To the forest there in River North,
Yeah.
the forest of buildings.
Well, I'm talking about Lance Briggs, but
But
yeah.
so how did you get around it? How did you manage to get to
So,
work?
Then I had to fire over to Randolph. I had a choice to make.
Uh-oh.
I mean, this is fun. What am I, Steve Dahl? I'm doing traffic stories.
It's okay. It's a holiday week.
This
We're
is
okay.
so I could have gone up to Division
Mhm.
and taken that, and then picked it up. But then so many lights, so I doubled back,
Ooh,
driving on the
yeah.
sidewalks to Lake Street. Well, to Randolph. So we went around East Bank Club, back over to
Yeah,
Randolph.
yeah.
Right.
Kingsbury over there.
Randolph is closed.
They didn't tell you that
So
either, did they? So
then I had to play, pick which east-west street, Randolph, Monroe. I don't remember what the other ones are right now. But anyway.
One of the presidents.
Yeah, exactly. Other presidents.
there you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, Adams and
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, that's how I felt
So I
yesterday
finally
during the
got
Gay
on,
Pride Parade.
And then I drove 130 miles an hour.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
And here's the thing. One other interesting
Yes.
note about my trip, since I'm down this rabbit hole.
Keep going.
So you know how when a state trooper or Chicago police car is driving, and they can do it one of two ways. They can clear the zone and drive at a speed so they're not backing everybody up because everybody jams on their brakes and starts
They do.
doing 45 miles an hour, which is so annoying, and they should know better. State trooper I picked up right at the toll plaza.
Yeah.
But he was clipping along at a good pace, which I appreciate.
Oh, so you kept up with them?
Exactly. So I
Oh.
could pace him so I could
Pacing
get
you.
here but not get a ticket. So I appreciate the state. For all you state troopers out there, please continue driving 100 miles an hour. Just clear the zone. That's all. Yeah, you want to stay, at a median and then pop people for driving too fast? Fine. But if you're driving, clear the zone. And he did. So it was
Good.
nice.
And you didn't get a ticket.
That's
and
right.
you arrived here safely.
And right now, but I thought maybe just the idea, like Gay Pride Parade yesterday. That's the last day of freedom, Chicago style, and then they just shut the city down. But apparently not.
No, well, so yesterday, my tale of woe, I'm in my car. It's 1:18. Like, okay, it's, right
Morning
after 1
or
o'clock.
afternoon?
No, afternoon.
Out clubbing or
Please.
Exactly.
No, I was
discotheque.
after. Excuse me, after coming home from
Faces.
church, which I had to struggle to get to church. Faces with Dick K.
She still got her VIP
she went there
card.
with fake
Dick K.
Royco.
Yeah, right.
and his white leisure suit.
Yeah.
No, after finally getting home from church, that was a struggle to get to church and back because everybody descends on the neighborhood. It's worse than a Cubs game. It is because the party starts at 6 a.m. and everybody's dressed flamboyantly, which is fine, whatever.
Sure.
But get out of my
Who
way.
doesn't like wrapping themselves in saran wrap on a Sunday? Right?
I did see a white
All the
Speedo.
time.
Some guy walking down Irving Park. White Speedo with a spud in there. A potato.
That's
that
not a
is-
potato.
Well, I thought it was a
I
potato.
don't-
It better have been a potato. Anywho,
Mhm.
so then later I get home, and I was happy to report that half of our church was still at church yesterday. Half of our congregation, because we have a lot of
Oh, right.
gay and lesbians
Right.
couples, but
Yeah.
um,
It's because it's a cult, it's not a church.
no, it's not a cult. And there was a beautiful sermon yesterday. I loved it. And but a lot of people that I talked to, they don't.
Vote Democrat was the
No,
theme.
no, they don't like the gay pride parade because it perpetuates a stereotype. And she said, well, how can we be taken seriously when people are walking around Irving Park with a white Speedo with a potato in their pants? So that's the first concern. But the second concern, traffic is so bad. They need to move this downtown like every other parade. I got in my car at 1:18. I got to Lakeshore Drive at 2:42 p.m. I was out of my mind. I left a voicemail message for Alderman Tom Tunney where I was trying to be, and I said, I am not homophobic. This is fine. Freedom of expression.
Good start.
Thank you.
It's not.
I hope that recording
I'm
never
not,
comes out.
I eat at Ann Sather's. I agree with you being up the butt of the Ricketses
I started
every day.
I'm not homophobic, but this is a safety issue because it used to be from Broadway and Pine Grove to Belmont. Now, are you ready for this? Wilson's shut down. They start backing up at Wilson, and then Montrose is shut down. Irving Park is shut down. Addison, Belmont, Diversey. You can't even get on Lakeshore Drive until Fullerton, and that's just a hot mess down there because that's where the parade ends.
By the way,
But it's
how do you tell the difference between the parade and a Cubs game? I mean, I'm asking. It's not a joke. I'm asking a legitimate question.
You can drive.
There's
on
just
the
more
street.
people.
There's there's these huge.
More people at the parade than a Cubs game. That
Yeah.
was good.
Is that
well done?
Is that the only difference?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
There are snowplows blocking every intersection because they're
Snowplows for the snowflakes.
there you go, Dan. But I'm saying it's a
Wow,
safety
that's
issue.
2 for 2. That's good.
And what if somebody had to go to Children's Hospital downtown? You're not.
Yeah.
You,
No.
Good luck. What if you have to go to Northwestern or Level 1 Trauma Center? You'll die because you can't move the snowplows. Now, I'm saying it's on both sides, Mike, and every intersection.
It does need to go
move
down to
downtown.
Columbus and Balbo. It needs to go
If
down there
not,
like every
they
other
should
parade.
give us vouchers so that the residents who pay high taxes to live in Lakeview should go away for the weekend. I'll go to Wisconsin Dells for a 2-day bender. I don't care. I'll go.
I'll tell you what. You want to know a way to get an escort right out of that neighborhood?
Oh.
Be a Jew. Yeah. Did you see this? LGBT Pride festivities in Chicago took an ugly turn over the weekend when 3 women were ejected from the march because their rainbow flags bore a Jewish Star of David. The women were told they could not take part in the city's Dyke March because their flags made people feel unsafe.
What?
It's
the Star of David.
The parade is described by organizers as being more inclusive, more social justice oriented, the Dyke March, than the actual formal parade. So there's your tolerance.
But here's the thing.
No
that's
Jews.
tolerant. Well,
Once you fire that up the flagpole at the cult, see what they think about that.
here's the thing. A lot of people are gay now. It's not an anomaly now. It's
Everybody's
just
gay.
No. This has been
100%
going
of
on
the
for
population.
48 years. It started out as a small gathering. It started out as 10 floats, really. Move it downtown like the Irish had to, like the Italians had to, like the Puerto Ricans had to, and the Mexicans.
I appreciate your focus.
No,
Singularly,
those are parades that were moved out of their neighborhoods to Balboa.
Can I just I appreciate your focus, your singular focus, your hyper focus just on where the parade should be. Do you want to at least take judicial notice of Jews being banned from the parade, that it's all about inclusion? Because
That's
the Star
sick.
of David makes people
Do you
feel
have a
unsafe.
picture of this image that's supposed to offend me?
No, it's just a flag. It's just the rainbow flag with the Star of David. I mean, people don't know what's going on in college campuses, how the anti-Semitism on college campus. Everyone from Alan Dershowitz to Jonah Goldberg has written about this and spoken about this. But this is a serious thing. The hatred directed at Jewish people, that's a real thing. And it was on display at this Cathedral of Tolerance on the north side yesterday. Just so you know.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I hope the Grand Marshal gets fired for that.
Yeah, but as long as they move the parade to Columbus and Balboa, then, anything goes for you.
Just like everybody else had to move once it capped off at 2 million people. Today, breezy clouds and sun, a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. A high of 74. Then tonight, a stray evening shower. Otherwise, cloudy, a low of 52, so no need to turn on the air conditioning again. And then on Tuesday, we're going to have pleasant conditions, plenty of sunshine, warmer, a high of 77. Let's see how it's going down there in River North where that fatal accident occurred. Here is Jim Telemonte in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. The Ontario feeder ramp remains closed after this fatal collision, which happened during the early morning hours before 3 a.m. And with westbound Ontario blocked at Orleans, that entire area headed toward that Ontario feeder. You've got a real massive congestion in River North. So you can head north to Division, you can head south as far as Congress, depending on where you're going. But avoid those arterial streets anywhere near Ontario and anywhere near that western edge of River North. It's a real mess. Inbound Bishop Ford, it's a solid mess, too. There was a car fire initially reported at 87th on the Rhine. It's actually right near the merge, so this is really backing up the Bishop Ford Freeway. Delays start at 111th, and then it's a big jam. 50 minutes, 80-94 to the Rhine. The outbound travel time is 15. I-57, 23 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Elsewhere, things are fairly quiet. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, your kids won't be thinking about school very much this summer, but it's a perfect time for you to be thinking about where you want to send them to school next year. Maybe a public school didn't work out and you want to go to a private school. Well, if that's the case, then log on to halfpriceschools.com where you can find a school near you that's offering a full year of tuition at half the price. There is no catch. There's schools in Romeoville, Chicago, South Holland, Antioch, just to name a few. But don't delay. Summer won't last forever, and school will be starting again before you know it. Visit halfpriceschools.com, halfpriceschools.com.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hi, Barry Sterner, owner of your premier home mortgage lender, Townstone Financial. Interest rates are extremely low, so there's no better time than the present to do a no closing cost refinance with Townstone Financial if your interest rate is above 4%. Remember, Townstone has completed thousands of no closing cost refinances since 2002. And don't worry, there are no hidden costs. I guarantee it, and I own the company. We can also customize the payback period so you don't have to start over at 30 years or 15. Last week, I began a no closing cost refinance where the borrower was going to save over $100 per month. That's $1,200 a year. So give me a call now at 312-896-2111 and let me review your current situation. Lastly, do you have mortgage insurance or an FHA loan? Let us see if we can remove the insurance payments, which will dramatically reduce your monthly payments. The call is free and so is my time, so dial 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111 or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com. Townstone Financial is an Illinois mortgage licensee 6629 and MLS 136639, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter, well, hear about it from your friends. Find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, just building on the story about some Jewish women being ejected from the Dyke Parade. That's apparently a precursor to the formal big gay parade.
Stop.
And similarly, in Minnesota, police banned from the gay pride parade initially.
Why? They march in Chicago's gay pride parade, have for decades.
Well, I think there are two reasons. Maybe one had to do with the Castile decision. And then secondly, this is the social justice left. This is a parade for the left. Understand that. We had a call last week from a gay gentleman who considers himself a conservative, and he's like, the parade, I'm more than my sexuality, essentially, is his point. And I don't know why we have to parade around to say, look at me, I'm gay. And right.
Everybody's gay.
What's the point? Or what's the need, essentially, was his point. But so social justice left. So just understand who they have unapologetic antipathy towards. Police, Jewish people, just for starters. That big group of tolerant individuals that are always virtue signaling about conservatives or people with whom they disagree. And everybody's running to be, because it's so au courant. Is it au courant to despise Jewish people, to despise police officers? You want to be in that crowd? That's the crowd.
Well, one Jewish person who was there, who was leading off the parade, was Mayor Emanuel. And he was so excited to be there at the front of the pack with his wife, Amy Rule.
And more important than ever this march, to reassert our common values, but also more important that we continue to battle to make sure that the voices that are on the periphery are brought into the American family, the Chicago family.
Yeah, and then he stopped for a Chick-fil-A sandwich afterwards.
Oh! No, he
not
didn't.
Chicago values, as you know.
Yes, that's right. And also the Grand Marshal was Leah Delaria. Do you know she's Boo on Orange is the New Black?
Okay.
Okay, but she's a great actress. I love lesbians. I love Leah.
Great.
It's very exciting. I've been to Gay Pride all over the world, from Tel Aviv to Sao Paulo to Chicago, and the Chicago Pride is so much fun.
Are Jews allowed at the Tel Aviv Gay Pride Parade? Just a point of order. We'll have to investigate that.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Look who's behind the infamous dossier on Trump at 5:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Here are the stories we're following in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. We're tracking a developing story this morning in Pakistan, where the death toll has climbed to more than 150 after an oil tanker overturns and explodes. 157 is the latest count in the death toll in the accident, where the tanker overturned with over 500 gallons of oil. People started to gather around that truck to collect the oil when it then caught fire and exploded. Supreme Court expected to weigh in on the future of President Trump's travel ban today. The justices could decide to hear a request from the White House to have the temporary ban on travel from 6 Muslim-majority nations implemented. If, by the way, the Supreme Court grants that request, the ban would be implemented within 72 hours. A Republican senator is saying the health care bill should not be voted on this week. That from Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson.
We should have started the process reaching out to the Democrats, pointing out the fact that Obamacare didn't work. Let's repair the damage done by Obamacare and transition to something that works.
The Senate bill includes big Medicaid cuts over time and eliminates taxes on some taxes on the wealthy, according to reports, and insurers. The number 2 Democrat in the Senate, Democrat Dick Durbin of Illinois, says the GOP-led plan is tax cuts, not health insurance reform.
A tax cut the Republicans insist on of about $700 billion for the wealthiest people in America and pharmaceutical companies.
Durbin on Fox News Sunday. The company responsible for the auto industry's biggest recall ever is filing for bankruptcy. A statement released Sunday says Takata will move most of its assets to Key Safety Systems. It's a Japanese-owned company based in Detroit. Takata's U.S. arm filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware after 17 deaths and 180 injuries. SpaceX says it successfully landed a rocket after a launch on Sunday. First stage Falcon 9 rocket landed successfully on a drone ship in the Pacific Ocean. Higher winds forecast across the Southwest today, hindering efforts to fight numerous wildfires. There's also a large fire being fought, the Brian Head Fire, near Salt Lake City, Utah. It's burned through 40,000 acres. A deadly crash causing delays this morning in Chicago's River North neighborhood. A Nissan Coupe slammed into a utility pole and burst apart and into flames near Ontario and Orleans. Authorities are investigating a shooting over the weekend that wounded 3 in Aurora. And the top Democrat at the Illinois Capitol finally weighing in on the budget negotiations. Speaker Mike Madigan telling reporters yesterday he wants a new law regarding how Illinois pays for schools. Marlins over the Cubs 4-2. A's sweep out the White Sox with a 5-3 win. The news service of the CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. Everyone is doing it. Everyone is testing for HIV. Lead by example. Knowing your HIV status allows you to stay healthy. Fast, free, confidential. Make HIV testing part of your routine. 5:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wants the GOP to rally together.
You may be the first president in history to go down because you can't stop inappropriately talking about an investigation.
Well, no, he may be the first president to go down because he can't get fellow Republicans like you to support him. I don't know why this is so hard for Republicans to muster at least the pretense of support for a president who is under siege by the American media.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments. Stormy markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
5:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Ontario feeder ramp remains closed. Coming out of downtown Chicago, westbound Ontario is blocked at Orleans. The area streets are jammed. If you're trying to get out of River North, you can head north to Division, south to one of the downtown streets, or even Congress, where things are fairly good right now. Again, that area near the Ontario feeder is a traffic mess. We still have some residual delays on the CTA Blue Line for Forest Park bound trains after earlier police activity at Irving Park. Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway, it's just a solid mess. From 130th to the Rhine, there was an earlier car fire. 46 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Outbound Fond at 15. I-57, 25 minutes from I-80 to the Rhine. Rhine's now 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. We now see mild congestion on westbound 190 near O'Hare. Also on the inbound Eisenhower near 25th. On the inbound Stevenson starting at Cicero. Traffic is a service of CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. HIV doesn't have a face. It can happen to anyone, anytime. It only takes one time. It's not just about you, it's about your community. What's important is that you get tested regularly. Everyone does it to stay strong. Everyone's doing it. Are you? Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Breezy, clouds and sun. Thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, high 74. Stray evening shower, otherwise clear to partly cloudy, and 52. 54 at O'Hare, 59. Along Chicago's lakefront, your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire, Ken Severa. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And so, interesting story in New York Post over the weekend, revisiting the Trump dossier that
claimed he was with Russian women.
Yeah, this is BuzzFeed reported on it. CNN reported on BuzzFeed reporting on it. So it was a whole. It would made its way into a top secret intelligence briefing. Jim Comey pulled Donald Trump aside after a briefing to apprise him of it. So this became a big deal. Both the dubious corroboration, the vetting of it by the intelligence community, the irresponsibility of the media reporting on these unverified allegations.
And they were pretty strong allegations. He was with Russian women allegedly, and there's golden showers were involved. I mean, it was
okay, take it easy, R. Kelly.
And James Comey, after that meeting with President Trump, that's when he started taking memos, and writing down everything about their meeting.
Well, the story out over the weekend, Paul Sperry reporting in the New York Post, the Senate Judiciary Committee has threatened to subpoena the firm Fusion GPS, which compiled the dossier, after it refused to answer questions and provide records to the panel identifying who financed the error-ridden dossier. Congressional sources are suggesting that it's actually Fusion GPS is not a independent research organization, but it's an op research group for Democrats, and the founders, who are more political activists than journalists, have a pro-Hillary, anti-Trump agenda. To wit, they point out that one of its co-founders and partners, Peter Fritsch, contributed at least $1,000 to the Hillary Victory Fund and the Hillary for America campaign, according to FEC records. His wife also donated money to Hillary's campaign in 2016, I should say. And, this has been largely discredited, and it's fine if you want to do opposition research and shop it around. That's just the nature of political campaign, and both sides do it. The issue is really the fact that this Michael Steele, who is the ex-British agent,
that's right.
They paid $50,000 to put this to corroborate the rumors that they heard about Trump, and he put together this dossier. Well, Steele hadn't worked in Moscow since the 1990s, and he didn't actually travel there to gather intelligence on Trump. He relied on third-hand, friend-to-friend sourcing. Sperry suggests his main source may have been Google. Most of the information branded as intelligence was merely rehashed from news headlines or cut and pasted, replete with errors from Wikipedia. Not bad work for $50,000.
But it's such a nasty storyline.
But so that's fine.
Yeah.
So, and so lies and rumor mongering during political campaigns. Okay, fine. The issue, that's just part of it. I'm not fine with it.
Well, that's
it's
just how
part
it
of
goes, right?
And it happens to both sides. But the issue is, why would anyone take this seriously? And the irresponsible media outlets that reported on it breathlessly, even with their qualifications, and then again for the CIA to give it credence and to end up in a top secret intelligence briefing on Russia for President Obama, even though his intelligence czar testified last month, Clapper, we couldn't corroborate the sourcing. So why is it in there? It's just salacious and unverified. But the FBI was using it for investigative leads on Trump associates like Carter Page, even though Comey also described it as salacious and unverified. Just a little bit of, additional color on this whole Trump-Russia collusion, obstruction of justice investigation, political football that's being thrown back and forth, and the absolute lack of a there, and actually what was used to advance the story and the investigation. And now you start to understand why there was and continues to be known there.
Is it anything criminal, though?
This is hokum.
Right.
There's nothing.
Right. Is there anything criminal that Michael Steele did? Mike Steele?
I don't know that it's criminal.
Or can he launch any lawsuits against the newspapers for
Donald Trump? No,
running the story?
The point is all about the left's obsession with Russia. And by the way, Adam Schiff, the ranking member of the House Intel Committee, a Democrat representing Area 51, he was on with Dana Bash over the weekend on CNN talking a little bit about Russian meddling in the election, now that it's known that President Obama knew about this in August, not the collusion, which has morphed into obstruction, but the real thing. There's a real thing called investigating Russia's attempt to hack into the election, to meddle in the election. That's a real thing. It's when you try and connect it to Trump or Trump associates that it becomes an unreal thing. Exactly. And Adam Schiff said this about President Obama.
I think the Obama administration should have done a lot more when it became clear that not only was Russia intervening, but it was being directed at the highest levels of the Kremlin. And indeed, Senator Feinstein and I were repeatedly trying to make that case to the administration initially when they didn't want to make attribution, they didn't want to publicly talk about Russia's role. And later, after we issued our own statement, and they did attribute the conduct to Russia, I was urging that they begin then the process of sanctioning Russia, the administration talking more forcefully about what the Russians had done.
Right. So if it was such a threat, why didn't they do anything about it? Well, and Adam Schiff is essentially saying, yeah, that the Obama administration should have done more. They made a mistake. That's coming from Adam Schiff. Now, of course, he's bootstrapping, and I don't remember him saying that publicly at the time.
No.
But he's
the Washington,
casting it now.
Washington Post interviewed a former Obama administration member who said that they thought Trump was a long shot, and they didn't want to appear as if they were sounding the alarm because then it would come across as political interference.
Right. And
so they thought Donald Trump had no chance of winning, so they didn't bring it up.
And so what is that? That is a political decision over a decision based on whether or not you have concerns about the integrity of the election. Politics first, always.
And President Trump took out after his predecessor on Twitter, just out the Obama administration knew far in advance of November 8th about election meddling with Russia, did nothing about it. Why? In capital letters with the question mark.
And a related story, since the media is a big part of this story, since they're keeping it alive with every resource at their disposal, higher-ups at CNN establishing a new protocol on Russian coverage after they produced another story that turned out to be false on the topic. Remember, in advance of Comey's testimony, they said Comey was going to say that the Trump statement at the time of his firing that Comey informed him 3 times that he was not a target of the investigation, Comey was going to deny that during his testimony.
Right, and that never happened.
Well, the opposite. He confirmed it.
No.
So CNN couldn't have been more wrong.
Well, they had egg on their face, yeah. But they didn't do an on-air apology at the time. They had on their website, they had a little footnote at the end that we were wrong. Gloria Bolger is one of the reporters or analysts who said that was going to happen.
Yes.
Never apologized. Or corrected herself.
So now they had another one end of last week. Anthony Scaramucci, who is on Trump's transition team.
Did you say Scaramucci?
Are you going to do an Italian slur now?
I was just pronouncing his name correctly. It's Scaramucci.
Except it's Scaramucci.
Scaramucci.
Uh-huh.
Anthony or
right.
Antonio?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
With the 2 fingers, that's your... Yeah. You just can't help yourself when it comes to Italian names. I understand.
I love it.
All right.
We pronounce it right. Get it on.
Yeah.
Get it right.
I am pronouncing it right. You're doing a Seth MacFarlane pronunciation of it. So Scaramucci was on Trump's transition team. There was a story CNN reported that he was under FBI investigation for a meeting he had with a Russian executive. That story is not true. And it was based, again, here we go, on one unnamed congressional source. So now CNN is saying essentially that the vice president at CNN, I should say, is no one should publish any content involving Russia without coming to me and Jason. That's the CNN Money executive editor in an email. And the Jason is the vice president of news at CNN. This applies to social, video, editorial, and money stream, no exceptions. So essentially,
it's not going through them to begin with.
Well, apparently
that's
not.
Troublesome.
Apparently not. But so now you've got higher-ups that are going to act as gatekeepers for stories on Russia because of the recklessness of reporters that are just looking to report on Trump and Russia Connects, and they'll use the flimsiest of unnamed sources and apparently not verify the accuracy of what they get from a particular source. I mean, these are two pretty high-profile mistakes where they're completely wrong, and it speaks of a narrative that the newsroom is trying to promote, just as is the case at the New York Times, rather than facts they are trying to provide. And, I think it's worth noting so that you take in all of especially the Russian-related content, anything that has collusion investigation or obstruction investigation in it coming from the D.C. press corps, you have to consume with a bit of skepticism. You may not even have to trust and verify, but you definitely have to verify.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, words you never want to hear your pilot say. But first, it's going to be breezy. We're going to have a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, a high of 74 degrees. Pretty cold out there right now. And then tonight, a low in the 50s with an evening shower likely. And tomorrow, no rain, plenty of sunshine, warm, a high of 77. Any good news in River North? Here's Jim Talamonte, who joins us in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Amy, none at all. Unfortunately, you don't want to hear this. The Ontario feeder is still closed. There was a fatal crash which happened before 3 o'clock this morning, and the westbound Ontario feeder is still closed. So that means westbound Ontario is blocked at Orleans, and the streets near that area are heavily congested. So avoid the area and get out of River North, heading, if you have to, back east, north to Division, south as far as Congress, because it's a real mess. The Edens is fine. Kennedy inbound, heavy out of the River Road toll. It's fine, though, near Ontario. 21 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 25, westbound 190 now has delays from the Kennedy to Manheim. The Eisenhower, 37 minutes, Thorndale to the post office downtown. Outbound fine at 29. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Bishop Ford really heavy. There was an earlier car fire near the merge, but it's improved. It's now 32 minutes, 8094 to Ryan. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, how would you like to have insurance for your computer network? Something to protect your hardware and software, and more importantly, give you peace of mind. Well, using Turnkey IT for installation and support of your systems is like having insurance for your computer network. For one affordable monthly payment, your company gets a full team of certified technicians who are there for you, working in the background to ensure your systems are up and running. They'll help you over the phone and make house calls to your workplace. And Turnkey IT doesn't wait until there's an emergency call because they work hard to take preventative measures to keep your network secured, backed up, and running nonstop. So the Turnkey experience, here's what happens. It includes Office 365 hosting, advanced network protection, cloud backup, disaster recovery, and unlimited remote and on-site support. So find out what Turnkey IT can do for your company today. It's easy. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher and Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, they provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher and Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher and Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by upstream-ideas.com. In 2008, Barack Obama scaled Chicago's big government trafficking operation nationally. The nation got only a small taste of the damage Chicago's RICO-style governance inflicts. Illinois has not been so fortunate. The kleptocratic kingpins who run the city that works you over have relegated Illinois to the status of a cautionary tale as to how a poisonous government-centric culture turns the state into one giant Ponzi scheme. Politics pervades every everything in Illinois. The result is that the nation's highest combined state and local tax burden has proven no match for the spending appetites of Pauls, who've racked up $250 billion in debt while skipping out on more tabs than Leona Helmsley in her heyday. With collapse in the offing, the Sicarios for Illinois' political crime family seek a federal lifeline in the form of state bankruptcy. Congress should consider removing sovereign immunity protections to make an example of those who turned Illinois into the bad example. Of America's 50 laboratories of democracy, Illinois is the meth lab. If we want to prevent more states from getting hooked on junk governance, the Bernie Madoff treatment should be applied to those who cook the books in Illinois.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is John Taffer from Bar Rescue. I've seen firsthand what restaurant owners can do with the capital to manage cash flow gaps. Kabbage is so important. Kabbage provides lines of credit of up to $150,000. Apply online and get a decision right away. Withdraw funds without reapplying. I signed up and had a decision in minutes. Kabbage has helped over 100,000 small businesses from every industry. Get started at Kabbage.com/owner or 855-KABBAGE. That's Kabbage with a K.
Line of credit is subject to credit approval. See terms and conditions.
You're the one that gets it done. The person your friends call to see if you can fix it. Brakes? No biggie. Shocks and struts? Simple and straightforward. The catalytic converter heat shield? Come on. If it has wheels, you can make it go. But not having the right part can bring your project to a screeching halt. Problem solved with MyPartsGarage.com. My Parts Garage is not a big box store that needs to wait to get a part in. MyPartsGarage.com is the warehouse that sells wholesale to you. They own the inventory. Your part is always in stock. But wait, there's more. Like free shipping within 24 hours, in-state, next-day delivery, or pick it up today at the warehouse. Right now, MyPartsGarage.com will price match your order, and yes, the shipping is still free. The last thing you need to do is drive fast and furiously to find parts. The average driver in Chicago commutes at least 24 miles per day. People are spending more hours in their car than they do at home. Drivers need you. You need MyPartsGarage.com. Lowest prices guaranteed and free shipping.
Are you or a family member suffering from addiction or substance abuse? If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, don't know where to go, or have relapsed, Haymarket Center can help. Haymarket Center wants you and your family to know that addiction is a treatable medical condition. With more than 30 comprehensive programs, Haymarket Center has successfully provided addiction solutions for tens of thousands of individuals and their families since 1975. Haymarket Center's comprehensive approach is at the heart of what they do. They address the whole person, including their substance abuse, mental health, and medical care. Their family-based treatment plan allows families to be part of the treatment program so everyone can be part of the recovery. Treatment does work. There can be a solution. Recovery is possible. Haymarket Center's message to you: hope starts here. Call Haymarket Center now for an assessment at 312-CAN-HELP, 312-CAN-HELP, or visit hcenter.org. That's hcenter.org.
It's become a summer tradition. Rockin' for the Troops returns this summer on July 22nd at Northwestern Medicine Field, home of the Kane County Cougars. This year's headliners, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, Leonard Skinnard. Also appearing, The Voices, Ayla Brown, and The Empty Pockets. Proceeds will benefit Operation Support Our Troops America. Get your tickets today at rockinforthetroops.org. That's rockinforthetroops.org.
Sunshine, 57 degrees. Let's get an update on the roads at 5:57 in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. In River North, the Ontario feeder ramp remains closed. No going on it right now, with westbound Ontario closed at Orleans after a fatal overnight collision. Traffic still pretty heavy in that area, quite as bad as it was earlier. There was a tremendous congestion affecting the arterial streets. The Edens is fine. The Kennedy inbound, heavy out of the River Road toll to Canfield. 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Up on 27. And westbound 190 is slow from the Kennedy to Manhunt. The Eisenhower, 37 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Up on 29. Stevenson, 46 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 21 minutes. 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 33 minutes. I-80 to the Rhine. Traffic service of CDC's doing an HIV testing campaign. HIV doesn't have a face. It can happen to anyone, anytime. It only takes one time. It's not just about you, it's about your community. What's important is that you get tested regularly. Everyone does it to stay strong. Everyone's doing it. Are you? Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, sunshine mixing with some clouds, a shower or a thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, high 73, a stray evening shower. Otherwise tonight, clear to partly cloudy with a low 51. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Currently 54 at O'Hare, 59 along the lakefront. This morning it is 50 in Aurora. Here are the stories we're following this morning in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Deadly crash causing big delays in Chicago's River North neighborhood this morning after a vehicle hit a utility pole and burst into pieces and into flames. A female passenger died at the scene. The driver ran off after the incident. 5-year-old girl remains hospitalized after nearly drowning over the weekend at a pool in Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood. One man is dead after being struck by a Metra train on Chicago's northwest side near the Montclair Metra station. Top Democrat at the Illinois Capitol finally saying what he needs to agree on a budget in Springfield. Speaker Mike Madigan telling reporters he wants a new law regarding how Illinois pays for schools and his own version of workers' compensation reform. Chicago residents who live near what will become the Barack Obama Presidential Library are upset about a planned golf course. Hundreds turned out for a public hearing over the weekend about the library, many saying they don't want the course. Marlins over the Cubs, while the A's sweep out the White Sox with a 5-3 win. WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
Will Senate Republicans iron out their differences on health care? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I think they have, at best, a 50-50 chance.
And Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer on ABC's This Week hopes Republicans failed at replacing Obamacare. Democrats say it would hurt the middle class, the sick, and the poor. Some in the GOP don't like the plan either. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, 5 staunch Republicans say they're opposed to the legislation as it stands. Senator Rand Paul says the bill retains key mandates that'll keep the cost of premiums high.
It's a foolish notion to promise something you can't provide.
Moderate Republicans like Susan Collins of Maine, who's undecided, are concerned about scaling back Medicaid and
the cost of insurance for older people with serious chronic illnesses.
Both on ABC's This Week. The Congressional Budget Office expected to release its report on the potential impact of the bill as early as today. Dave.
Rachel, a massive airbag recall has proved too costly for Takata, filing for bankruptcy protection. Fox's Alistair Wanklin has this live.
That's right, Dave. Japanese auto parts manufacturer Takata saying bankruptcy is the best hope for continuing to supply replacements for deadly airbag inflators. At least 16 people died when Takata-made inflators exploded, lacerating drivers and passengers with shrapnel. The airbag failure led to the largest auto recall in U.S. history, and worldwide, so far 100 million vehicles recalled. Key Safety Systems of Detroit plans to take over most of Takata's assets. Dave.
Alistair, a wildfire that's chased 1,500 people from their homes in southern Utah is still burning, only 10% contained, but Jesse Bender with Utah Land Management says
we are feeling really confident that we'll be able to allow residents back into that area very soon.
67 square miles have burned. 13 homes have been destroyed near the town of Bryan Head. Drama in Los Angeles last night. A driver lost control of his SUV, crashed into a motel swimming pool. 7 children were injured, not seriously. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours. And when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business. And it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year, and so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, C-E-R-T-A, or visit CertaPro.com, that's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro painters, we do painting, you do life.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So you heard it in the news at the top of the hour about Mike Madigan, House Speaker Mike Madigan, now responding to Governor Rauner as the legislative kabuki theater continues in this special session where I believe they were in session in each chamber for all of about 20 minutes combined over the last 2 days of last week.
And Susana Mendoza was saying, too, that they can't even agree who's going to be in leadership meetings. You know, when they break out into sidebar discussions.
Yeah,
that's what a mess it is.
Susana Mendoza is part of that mess.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the so Madigan is coming to the table ostensibly, and so this is House Minority Leader. I guess he's not super Minority Leader anymore, but he's trying to be again. Jim Durkin. Saying, "Oh, this is more movement we've seen from Madigan. Everybody's waiting
it's him.
For the smoke to emanate from the Speaker's office to indicate whether or not he's going to move or on these proposals that House and Senate Republicans, along with the governor, have indicated they would support."
Doesn't it remind you of The Godfather, though? I mean, he moves and all the media run after him. I mean, everything he says, everyone's just waiting on bated breath. What's he going to do?
So it's all the same stuff. It's redoing the state's school funding formula such a way that would rob suburban school districts to bail out the city of Chicago again and send some more money to downstate schools as well. But that's the upshot of it. And if anybody wants to discuss the particulars, I'm happy to. That's the upshot of it. And you know what? It's always been the upshot of it. It's always been the upshot of it as long as Chicago Democrats have been in control of the purse strings in this state. This is not complicated. So what should also not be complicated, as I continue to beat this drum, is going to your Democrat state reps and state senators in suburban Cook and the Collar families, and letting them know that you're aware of the two-step that they do, pretending to be the independent-minded person. PTA, I see her PTA, we go to this, she's involved in this same organization I am, blah, blah, blah. She's independent. She's just as tired of Madigan as Republicans are. And then that same legislator goes to Springfield and does exactly what Madigan tells her to do. Okay. So if you can't figure out something as obvious as that, then the state is lost, and John Cass is right. It should be dissolved, and we'll talk to John Cass more about that at the bottom of the 7 o'clock hour. So it's school funding. It's arguing over the the structure of workers' comp in the state. And Madigan said something interesting. The Tribune story, Monique Garcia reporting. This is a governmental negotiation. This is a situation where nobody gets 100%. I asked the Republican leaders, please go down to the governor, explained in a governmental negotiation. Nobody gets 100%. Please do that.
Well, he's got to give too then. I mean, what's he willing to concede? He offered some wish list, right?
He is. He said his budget proposal is shortly forthcoming. Here's the bottom line. This is just posturing by Madigan, as it always is. This is the same game he's been running for 40 years, and it is incredible to me how Republican legislators, including Republican Governor Bruce Rauner, have fallen prey to this yet again. Governmental negotiation. This is how a governmental negotiation works. Rauner has been negotiating against himself for the last 2.5 years. He's been all over the place in terms of what are the must-haves in his turnaround agenda. And now he's down to temporary property tax relief and term limits in exchange for massive tax hikes, which is a horrible deal. I'm telling you right now, he will lose if Madigan calls his bluff and sends him something approximating what he said he would sign, and what House and Senate Republican leaders are, excited. The leadership, at least, not the rank and file, but the leadership are excited to sign, just to do something to get it done, so we don't have to deal with it. Governmental negotiation. That's Madigan. Right, because this is a government-centric kleptocracy. This is a narco state, Illinois. The drug of choice is big government. And so what Madigan has done is, and again, how Republicans fall for this, what he's done is say this whole political power struggle is over who gets control and support from the government class. Well, if the Republicans play that game, they lose. If they understand what he's doing and then think about the 95% of people outside of the public sector, the crises that the private sector is in this state, and focus there, then you have a chance to stoke the revolt and win. And that's not my ideological position. That's what the polling data says, as I've related on this show a number of times. It is not a close call. Not a close call. And it turns out the moderate Republicans, the Republicans that have very little in terms of a core philosophy, they're the ideologues. They look at the data, and Governor Rauner knows very well what the data is. Overwhelming that what they're proposing to do is not supported by the Illinois general electorate. Wide swaths, when you apprise them of what is the tax climate in the state right now, blacks, every person over age of 45, on and on. People concerned about the budget impasse, people not concerned about the budget impasse. Majorities emerge, cuts-only budget. And yet Republicans are saying, well, we're looking at that data. We're just going to dismiss it because this is our position. So we hope that it's right. We want it to be right, so we're going to impose it on 3/4 of the electorate that says it's not right, and we're not going to do this. And just to provide a little bit of color, we'll take your calls, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. To provide a little color, we did a Follow the Logic segment, which you can watch the whole thing over at upstream-ideas.com. This man on the street interviews, cross-section of people from a young black gentleman to an elderly nun on the topic.
Good.
Wide range of people. And here's what they said. Tax hikes or spending cuts?
Do you think the state has a spending problem, or do you think it's a revenue problem? So in other words, do you think the solution needs to be spending cuts or reining in spending, or do you think that we need to increase taxes primarily?
I think there's certain areas where we could certainly cut our spending. I'm sure that's always going to be the case. But I also think that we're missing opportunities to bring in additional tax revenue as well, not necessarily from just a working stiff homeowner, but perhaps luring in additional businesses and that could bring in a larger tax base that aren't either moving out of Illinois or aren't choosing to come to Illinois?
I think it's some of both.
Raising taxes is not ideal for Illinois. People are moving out of Illinois because of taxes. They do have to make cuts.
Definitely not tax increases. I think that they have a big problem with spending.
I really don't know, but I think we could have more revenue if we would focus in on what's really important to spend it on.
I think it's definitely a spending problem.
So would these individuals do something that the General Assembly hasn't seen its way fit to do? Support like statutory spending caps. Here's a concept. The state can only spend as much money as it takes in.
Right. Well, we've been spending what we don't have for decades.
Correct.
But what do you think about Ronner? I mean, is it prudent for him to sign a budget where the personal income tax and corporate income tax increases in exchange for a 4-year property tax freeze?
It's a disaster.
So he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't.
No, he's not damned if he doesn't.
Then what should he, if you were him, what would you do?
I would stoke the revolt. Their 2 Republican senators have produced a cuts-only, constitutionally balanced budget, McConkey and McCarter. The Illinois Policy Institute has produced an alternative constitutionally balanced budget that is restructuring state government, no tax increases. If you sign on to those massive structural tax increases, the number one, you destroy the promises you made, because remember, his promise was income tax down to 3% by the end of his first term. Now he's proposing that he would sign it back up to
4.95%.
Yeah, basically back up to where it was under Pat Quinn.
Right.
So for 2 years, you can argue that he has steadfastly stopped bad things from being done by a Democrat-controlled General Assembly. But if he capitulates on this budget, what was the last 2 years all about? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, 2 years deferred, what do we have? Pat Quinn policies. Massive tax increases, no structural reforms, temporary property tax freeze. That's not even a freeze. And oh, by the way, we have the highest property taxes in the nation. Why would we want to lock them in? What does that do? It's absurd.
If anything, they should be
It's not
reduced.
close.
Yeah.
If he signs what he and House and Senate Republicans said they would support, then he will lose, they will lose, Ronner will be gone, and we will be, Republicans, and I say we because I are one, will be in the super minority position, in the minority of super minorities in the General Assembly for another generation. And like most people, I'll be interested to read how that turns out, or what the opportunities are a generation from now in the other state that I'm living in. That's where this is going. And people get this. This is, man on the street stuff. And listen to people. Statutory spending caps, this simple idea. Can't spend more than you take in. And this has been proposed as part of the House and Senate Republican grand idea. And it's statutory spending caps that are $3 billion more than we took in fiscal year 2017. Well, what kind of spending caps are those? You're not imposing any discipline because they're preternaturally incapable of doing it.
Would you support statutory spending caps, which would prevent the politicians in Springfield from spending more money than the state takes in?
Yes.
Provided that social services, that those that are truly needed are protected, yes.
Oh, absolutely. I would do it at home. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that seems like it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, do what most Americans do. Don't spend money you don't have.
It's novel. And the money that you do have, do you trust Illinois politicians to spend it? Because ultimately, that's what you're saying. Again, you're blaming me, Illinois political class, for what I didn't do. That's why you have to take more from me. That's what they're saying. Does that register?
Oh, it's going to start.
It's not.
It's going to get real here soon when the soda tax comes July 1st. And when people get their August installment of their property taxes.
Well, yeah, but
that's when it's going to get real.
A 32% increase in your personal income tax.
Yeah.
Raising the corporate tax from 5.25 to 7% in a state that is hemorrhaging businesses and entrepreneurial capitalists. They're saying to you, productive Illinois families and businesses, it's your fault, thus we have to take more from you. That's the only logical inference you can draw. And so your response is, yeah, it's my fault? That's the way I think you have to look at it. And so the mentality is astonishing to me, because here's what people say about their trust in Illinois politicians spending their money.
Do you trust the politicians in Springfield to spend your money wisely?
No.
No, they haven't shown to me that they haven't proven to me that they can be good with it.
Not really.
Absolutely not.
I guess I don't. I tend to be a very trusting person, but it hasn't been working. So, that's kind of logically, it tells me something's wrong somewhere.
No, definitely not.
So I can't. So some people can't afford it. Other people can across the board, and the actual survey data backs this up too. And it's not just these anecdotal man on the street interviews. No, I don't trust you to spend it how you say you're going to spend it. I don't believe you say you're going to spend it how I would like to see it spent, how you say it will be spent. And of course I don't, because I've watched what you've done for as long as I've been around here. And it's, of course, been the opposite of spending money in the direction you said you would spend money. Of course. So what about the Senate Dems all-tax budget that John Cullerton passed last month? All tax increases, which, frankly, is what Rauner and House and Senate Republican leadership is agreeing to. This temporary property tax freeze where debt is not included with a referendum override. Now, it's also an underride. It's a referendum that would provide local communities with the opportunity to reduce property taxes as well. But referendums, that's a arduous way to do tax relief policy or structural reform, isn't it? So, Senate Dems all-tax budget, you on board for that?
So in May, the Senate Democrats passed a budget that included a massive spending increase, a tax increase on income taxes, corporate taxes, sales taxes on dry cleaning, it extended it to cable TV and the cloud, with absolutely no spending cuts, no major reforms. Would you support something like that?
No, I think, again, we have to reduce the spending. There's got to be ways.
No, because I know that's been Illinois' standard answer is just to raise taxes, and there's got to be something else that can be done.
No.
Absolutely not.
That doesn't sound right to me.
It didn't sound all that intelligent, really.
And so what are people going to do? Are they going to stay or leave? Revolt or bolt, as I want to ask. Well, here's this cross-section of folks that we spoke with and what they're, to answer the question, are you thinking about leaving Illinois? Has that thought passed through your mind?
Have you thought about leaving?
I'm a retired disabled veteran Marine who in Indianapolis had a lot of benefits for being a disabled veteran. I only moved here because my wife was from here and we had small children and family here. I took a lot of cuts for being a disabled veteran by moving to Illinois. And so I knew coming here that the financial situation wasn't good, and some of the tax programs are much less beneficial for me here, but I did it for family.
We have, but unfortunately we're stuck. Services for disabled and elderly. I have a disabled brother that's impacted by this. And just the property taxes, the income tax, everything is so high, and then for the services that we don't get, it's not a good match. For the time being, we're kind of stuck. So people in Illinois need to do something to make it work in Springfield, make it work for us.
Yeah, unfortunately we have. I mean, I'm getting near retirement age, and we were talking about this, and we could not afford the taxes on our home when I retire on my retirement pay. So, yeah, I think we'd have to be looking to move out of state. I have several friends that are already moving to Indiana, so that's where everyone seems to be going, right over the border.
Oh, absolutely. We've already started looking into like Texas and Florida, and where there is either no income tax or the taxes are a lot less. I mean, Illinois is one of the highest. Well, it's been hard because I will be honest, having a child with special needs, schools are the most important for us. I will find that city and that state that, has 10 ranked schools and stuff like that, so for him.
Yeah, so it's a real thing. I know John Cullerton and Madigan spokesmen say it's not really happening. It's happening. It's really happening. And it's happening at a profound level that is just exacerbating the state's financial death spiral. You can watch the whole video if you want at upstream-ideas.com. Jordan in Forest Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I wonder why no one can ask Madigan a simple question. There's about a $40,000 per taxpayer unfunded liability issue in Illinois compared to maybe $2,000 in some of these surrounding states. And what is your plan, Mr. Madigan, for dealing with that? If you can't cut anything for a simple yearly budget, how are you going to deal with that? Or is that just going to continue to grow?
Yeah, well, it's the pension issue is obviously one of the big topic areas, and the answer from the Democrats and from a lot of Republicans is, I don't want to deal with that. I don't know. We have to do something about it. We have to come together and find workable solutions. This is a governmental negotiation, as Madigan describes. So what you get in response to serious policy questions about burning dumpster fires like the state's pension systems is cliches and platitudes, because that's the respect they have for you, which is to say none. Thanks for the call, Jordan.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up next, I was right about Dennis Rodman. He is the reason why Otto Warmbier was returned. But first, here's your forecast. Breezy with some clouds. Cool out there. It's about 63 degrees, going up to a high today of 74 degrees. We'll have an afternoon thunderstorm in spots. Tonight, a stray evening shower, low of 52. And then tomorrow, much better day. It'll be pleasant, plenty of sunshine, and a high of 77. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Very busy man this morning. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. In River North, the Ontario feeder ramp remains closed going to the Kennedy Expressways. Westbound Ontario is blocked at Orleans. Traffic is heavy in that area. Avoid it if at all possible. Edens is 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound fine at 19. Kennedy, 24 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. Outbound, it's now 40 minutes to the airport, just 12 to Montrose. Coming inbound, the Ontario feeder is very heavy with gapers due to that Ontario feeder situation. On the Eisenhower, looking at 45 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 32. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's clear outbound. The Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to the Loop. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the Murray, Bishop 425. Northbound Tri-States, though, Harlem to the Mylong Bridge. There was an earlier stall, but it's a pretty heavy delay. Then slow Plainfield Road to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, if you haven't bought a MyPillow yet, why not? Maybe you've seen them in the store, but the radio deal using my name, Amy, as the promo code is a much better deal. In fact, it's the best deal available. And in June, you'll receive the 50% discount on a MyPillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium MyPillows, 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for half off. You can move the fill to give you the exact support you need regardless of sleep position, and you'll sleep deep and won't wake up with a stiff neck or a headache. And our good friend Mike Lindell manufactures them in America using only American labor. Wash them and dry them. They're hypoallergenic. That's good if you have allergies. And there's a 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. And in June, don't forget, you get 50% off the 4-pack. So call 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I've seen it in my lab. I've seen the immune response increase. I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection, and I know that it works.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof isn't right after it's storming and shingles are curly,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy.
And I'm Greg Olson from Cromweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Cromweedy.
For your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
His eyes darted between the blue wire and then the red wire. Back to the blue, back to the red. A bead of sweat dropped from his brow to his hand, which grasped a pair of pliers. He took a deep breath, steadied himself, and cut both with one swift squeeze of his tool. The boy screamed as the doctor pried the braces from his teeth.
If this 20-second performance made you feel something, imagine what an entire Audible book can do. Visit audible.com to start your free 30-day trial.
Napa know-how.
Why should you grab Valvoline Full Synthetic Motor Oil for $5.59 a quart at Napa? 2 words, road trip. To see the biggest ball of twine or a crater shaped like Abe Lincoln. Because if your ride isn't running strong, all you're going to see is the side of the road. Valvoline Synthetic Oil, just $5.59 a quart. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer expires 6/30/17.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Are we on? Coming up is Jamie Nelson, Executive Director of Operations Support Our Troops. We'll talk about the Rockin' for Our Troops concert this summer that's right around the corner.
Leonard Skinner's going to be there.
Big named entertainer, yeah. And also, who's buried in Frank Kerrigan's tomb?
Yeah. And later, how I was right about Dennis Rodman. He's a diplomat after all.
No, you weren't.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
58, sunny skies in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Deadly crash causing big delays in Chicago's River North neighborhood after a Nissan slams into a utility pole and bursts into flames this morning near Ontario and Orleans. Jim Telemonte has all the details on how that's impacting your morning commute. He'll be along in just a moment. We're still waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on how they will proceed on President Trump's immigrant travel ban. Today is the last day of the court's current term. You may recall lower courts have blocked the president's executive order preventing travelers from several Muslim-majority nations from entering the U.S. 9 are dead, 2 dozen missing after a tourist boat sinks in Colombia, about 30 miles east of Medellin. The death toll 150 or more after an oil tanker explodes in Pakistan on Sunday. Senate Republican leaders want to see their new health care bill passed by the end of this week. However, several Republicans are saying they cannot back the bill in its current form. With a thin majority, Republicans have little margin for error. Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming does admit the Senate health care plan eliminates 2 major parts of Obamacare.
We want to eliminate the mandates that you have to buy a government-approved product, get rid of all of the taxes.
Democrat Senator Joe Manchin, though, says he'll consider negotiations over repair, but not repeal of Obamacare.
Let's sit down, but we can't even get in the room. If Mitch would just expand to a bipartisan working group to repair it and quit talking about repealing it, we'd have a pathway forward.
The Senate bill is similar to a House bill that narrowly passed last month. The trial of a former pharmaceutical executive known as the most hated man in America begins today in New York. Martin Shkreli gained infamy for jacking up the price of a life-saving drug from $13 to $750 a pill when he was CEO of Turing Pharmaceuticals. His criminal trial has nothing to do with that controversy. ISIS supporters reportedly behind the hacking of a government website in Ohio. A hacking group linked to the terror organization posted pro-ISIS messages on Ohio Governor John Kasich's website and several others. Charges are pending after a Chicago police officer and a woman were injured in a hit and run on the south side. The officer was out of his squad questioning the woman early yesterday about a possible domestic dispute when a maroon-colored vehicle slammed into both of them near 68th and State. Marlins scored 3 in the first and hold on to top the Cubs 4-2 in Miami. Cubs suffer another injury. Shortstop Addison Russell left the team's loss to the Marlins with pain in his right shoulder. White Sox 5-3 winners over the A's 5-3 winners over the White Sox. However, Adam Engel did hit his first career White Sox home run. The news, a service of the CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. HIV doesn't have a face. It can happen to anyone, anytime, and only takes one time. It's not about you, it's about your community. Get tested regularly. Everyone does it to stay strong. Everyone's doing it. Are you? 6:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager believes we live in a world of double standards.
If a fanatical Trump supporter had tried to murder as many Democratic congressmen as possible, you think a Nancy Pelosi would get up there and call for unity? I don't. I think she would have gotten up there and said, this is the hate unleashed by this president.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
6:36. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
Thanks, Mike. The Ontario feeder is still closed due to that overnight crash. The westbound Ontario is blocked at Orleans. The arterial streets still have significant congestion in that area, so avoid it. You can head north to Division, south to a Congress or one of the loop streets. Also, there's a big gapers delay on the inbound Ontario feed, or the Ohio feeder, with people looking at this. So the Ohio feeder is really jammed up with this crash, still blocking the Ontario feeder. On the Kennedy itself, it's got much heavier inbound. 40 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, 14 from Montrose, 25 in the Express. Locals are much quicker, again, due to that gapers delay on the Ohio feeder. Outbound, 15 minutes to Montrose, 48 to O'Hare. Eden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 20, the Eisenhower, really heavy Wolf to 17th, 50 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 40. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Ryan is 23 minutes, 95th to downtown, northbound Tri-State. Jammed 115th to the Mylon Bridge after a stall. And slow from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, Adams Tollway slow from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Traffic service of CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. Everyone's doing it. Everyone is testing for HIV. Lead by example. Knowing your HIV status allows you to stay healthy, fast, free, and confidential. Make HIV testing a part of your routine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Breezy with clouds and sun, maybe an afternoon thunderstorm, high 74. Currently, we have 56 degrees. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Advanced Planning Advisors, bringing you Smart Money Talk with Mike Moylan and Rob Curvin, Saturday mornings at 6.
Get your tickets for the Summer of Trump on August 22nd, hosted by Joe Walsh and featuring Hugh Hewitt and Guy Benson. Go to 560theanswer.com/summer.
This song never gets old, don't you think?
That's right. Hope Neil Young will remember.
Oh, boy.
Southern Man, don't need him around. Anyhow, Leonard Skinner, the featured act. What are you talking about? I wasn't singing. I was just reciting the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
I'm talk singing.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us know our limitations when it comes to
singing.
Yes.
Moving around and how. Yeah, there you go.
Right, you just go like that, and it sounds like you're a country star. Leonard Skinner, July 22nd.
So bad.
That is the Rockin' for the Troops concert featured performer. And boy, that's a featured performer. That's a great get.
It is.
And this is, of course, for Operation Support Our Troops. We've participated with Operation Support Our Troops, or OSOT.
Right, OSOT,
as I like to call them.
And last year we took a year off from Rockin' for the Troops.
Yeah.
And now we're back. And better than ever.
And so this is, again, July 22nd. It's going to be at the Northwestern Medicine Field, which is the home of the Kane County Cougars out there in Geneva.
Yep, new venue.
Tickets are on sale already. Rockinforthetroops.org. Rockin, I-N, drop the G, just like the governor does. Rockinforthetroops.org. Gates open at 2 o'clock on the 22nd. The entertainment begins at 2:30. Fireworks about 10 o'clock. So it's a whole day of fun and good music. And for more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Jamie Nelson, who's the executive director of OSOT, Operation Support Our Troops. Jamie, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate getting to talk to you guys in the morning.
So how did you guys land Leonard Skinner? That's a good get.
Yeah, it was. Fortunately, when we were looking through different artists, we were looking for ones who are very patriotic and are known for supporting the troops, and they popped right to the top of the list. And we were fortunate to find somebody who could help us interact with their agency, and they were willing to come and perform for us.
Madonna was unavailable.
Yeah,
though.
right. Now, will they let Dan come up on stage and sing Sweet Home Alabama?
Yeah.
As a sing-along?
Yeah.
Well, we can always ask, right?
No, don't ask. Please don't ask for fear that they say yes.
So, Jamie, tell us, for those of us who aren't familiar with Operation Support Our Troops, who you help. I obviously our military, but I was involved with the care packages, but you do more than just care packages.
Correct. We actually, in our 14th year of shipping comfort and care packages, close to 1.9 million pounds of them at this point in time. We, though, have added in a couple other programs. We have a free GI yoga program for veterans looking to do yoga and their families. We also offer the Alan J. Lynch Veteran Assistance Program. Alan is a Medal of Honor recipient for the Vietnam War, and that program offers one-time grants to veterans in financial crisis, so providing them a hand up. And then we also have our Leap of Faith, which is for families of the fallen. Come to a 3-day grief seminar and actually get to do a tandem skydive with either a veteran or an active duty Golden Knight.
Yeah, I met a woman who lost her son, and she did the Leap of Faith, and she said that she wrote him a letter, and right before she jumped out of the parachute, she released the letter, and it was it was cathartic for her, and it made her feel. She said, "Now I feel like I can live every day."
Right, exactly. So it's a terrific thing. They write things on their hands or, like you said, do the notes. And we get these very inspirational letters back from them about what it has meant and the impact and change that it's allowed them to do.
Well, and this seems to be perhaps more weighing on people's minds more because of the recent terrible incidents where U.S. servicemen were killed in Afghanistan. Of course, the U.S. Navy personnel that was killed on the USS Fitzgerald. So, just because we don't hear about troop deployments on a routine basis the way we did maybe right after 9/11 doesn't mean we don't have thousands upon thousands of American men, servicemen and servicewomen in harm's way throughout the globe. Correct. We still have quite a few deployed, and we get terrific letters from them as well about the things that they're working on and how much getting a box from home means to them. So that need never really diminishes. The level might, but the need to be able to provide those items to the troops deployed.
Yeah, let's talk about what's in those care packages. And I know school children, too, write notes of inspiration and notes of thank you. But the actual items that are in the care package that these soldiers and Marines and navalmen that they need.
So we include a lot of food. So crackers, jelly, canned fruit, those kind of things that they can open up and eat easily. We also include things like shampoo, body wash, razors, shaving cream. Right now we ship sunscreen, so we include that. Fly swatters, believe it or not, we like to send those to them when we can. Socks, toilet paper. Wow. Just about.
Well, creature comforts, it's just items that they can't get out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so important.
Leonard Skinner DVDs. Maybe,
Oh.
Just a thought. So tell us more about the actual concert day, the Rockin' for the Troops concert, July 22nd. Again, Rockin', IN, for the troops.org is where you can go buy tickets. But what's the full complement of activities that day?
So as you said, the gates will open at 2 o'clock. The first band will start at 2:30. It's a local group out of Skokie called the Empty Pockets, a little rock indie band, and we're taking full use of the home of the Kane County Cougars. They have a small music garden in the back, so we'll start out back there. All five branches of the military will be there, so we're having different vehicles for people to check out and get a chance to talk to the actual servicemen and women about what they're doing. And at 4 o'clock, we'll have the Voices on the main stage, and then opening ceremonies at about 5:30 with a color guard, national anthem, all of that. Then we have Ayla Brown, a up-and-coming country artist, singing country patriotic songs at about 6:30 to 8, and then Leonard Skinner will kick off by 8:30, and we're closing out the night with a fantastic fireworks show.
And you're asking people to bring with them a DVD or CD or an iTunes gift card?
Yes, we're starting to collect for our stockings program that we do in the fall, where we ship. Last year we shipped 3,500 Christmas stockings to the troops deployed. So those are that we try to include a little different items and those that are a little more gifty.
Yeah. And do you think there'll be any Leonard Skinner CDs?
I would bet there'll be a few Leonard Skinner CDs donated, so that would be terrific. And then, but yes, DVDs, iTunes gift cards, any of those are appreciated.
All right. Well, again, it's July 22nd. It's at Northwestern Medicine Field, which is the home of the Kane County Cougars in Geneva. The website is rockinforthetroops.org to purchase tickets, and then, of course, Operation Support Our Troops. America is the benefiting organization, and our American servicemen and women are the actual beneficiaries. So if you want to get involved with Operation Support Our Troops America, that's an option as well. Jamie Nelson is the executive director joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the great work that Operation Support Our Troops America does for military families, and look forward to the concert on July 22nd.
Yes, looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jamie.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, am I right or am I wrong when it comes to Dennis Rodman being a diplomat? 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. First, here's your forecast. It's going to be breezy. We're going to have some clouds and possible thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. 74 degrees tonight, a low of 52 with an evening shower. And then tomorrow looks like a picture-perfect day. Plenty of sunshine, a little bit warmer, a high of 77 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. River North, Ontario feeder still closed. Westbound Ontario is blocked at Orleans due to an overnight fatal crash. Arterial streets are still heavy in that area. Big change in the last half hour or so is that the Ohio feeder is jammed now inbound with a Gapers delay. People checking this out. So on the inbound Kennedy, your travel time from O'Hare to downtown is 40 minutes. 15 from Montrose and the locals, but 25 in the express because of that jam. Locals are a good bit quicker. Outbound, 48 minutes downtown to the airport. Westbound 190 is still heavy too. Eden's 23 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 21. The Eisenhower, 50 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 40. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 37. Ryan is 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, bottled up from 115th to the Mile Long Bridge after a stall. Then from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Reagan Tollway now very slow, 83 to the Tri-State. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. The Supreme Court delivers bad news to Chicago. San Francisco Fed zeroes in on sustainable growth, and Eddie Bauer may be for sale. Those stories next.
Have you racked up more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? You should know the credit card companies are tricking you into thinking there's no way out. Credit card companies would rather you didn't know that there are ways you can become debt-free and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. There are debt relief programs that help people like you escape overwhelming credit card debt. National Debt Relief has helped tens of thousands of people just like you reduce more than $500 million of debt. National Debt Relief has helped so many people. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. You don't have to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan. You have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Reduce a portion of your debt now. Call National Debt Relief at 800-975-5115. 800-975-5115. That's 800-975-5115.
Reuters is reporting that upscale iconic outfitter Eddie Bauer might be placed up for sale. The company is said to be exploring strategic options to reduce debt. Last week's 8-1 Supreme Court decision making it harder to bring out-of-state actions to Illinois is expected to have an economic impact on Chicago. In the past, lawyers have tried cases in Chicago because it was seen as friendly to plaintiffs. Fewer lawsuits will impact hotels, restaurants, and other local businesses as the caseloads are cut back. Economic reports ahead today include the latest durable goods figures, an update on Dallas manufacturing, plus San Francisco's Federal Reserve Bank president will address how to foster sustainable growth in the U.S. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. I'm Keith Peters for the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hey, every guy dreads the honey-do list, so give yourself a weekend off and check out ChicagoRadioDeals.com for some home improvement help. How's the air quality in your home? Allergens could be affecting the air you breathe, while Royal Home Comfort Services is offering several deals with half off their normal prices to improve the air quality in your home. Purchase a full home air duct cleaning for $195. This deal includes all your ducts and an inspection of your furnace as well. They also have a deal to rid your home ductwork of all unwanted bacteria, including mold, by using a natural cleansing agent to keep your family safe and healthy. But wait, there's more. Royal Home Comfort also has a deal to clean and inspect your home dryer vent for only $45. Now, if you want to tackle a project yourself, shop at a great local hardware store with personal customer service. Purchase the Addison Building Materials $100 gift certificate for only $50. Addison Building Materials is a true value retailer. For more home improvement deals, just visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. In 2008, Barack Obama scaled Chicago's big government trafficking operation nationally. The nation got only a small taste of the damage Chicago's RICO-style governance inflicts. Illinois has not been so fortunate. The kleptocratic kingpins who run the city that works you over have relegated Illinois to the status of a cautionary tale as to how a poisonous government-centric culture turns a state into one giant Ponzi scheme. Politics pervades everything in Illinois. The result is that the nation's highest combined state and local tax burden has proven no match for the spending appetites of Pauls who've racked up $250 billion in debt while skipping out on more tabs than Leona Helmsley in her heyday. With collapse in the offing, the Sicarios for Illinois' political crime family seek a federal lifeline in the form of state bankruptcy. Congress should consider removing sovereign immunity protections to make an example of those who turned Illinois into the bad example. Of America's 50 laboratories of democracy, Illinois is the meth lab. If we want to prevent more states from getting hooked on junk governance, the Bernie Madoff treatment should be applied to those who cook the books in Illinois.
Are you stuck in a bad home mortgage? Well, join the club that has about 10 million other American families. But I may be able to help you. My name is Lou Bridges. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Lou Bridges and Associates. We've been helping distressed homeowners like you for over 8 years now. Give us a call. We provide free consultations. I guarantee you it will not be a sales pitch. We will give you our honest legal analysis, counsel, recommendations, and advice regarding your options.
We are experts in doing loan modifications successfully. We know the regs. We understand the process. Most importantly, we don't take no for an answer. We fight. We are prepared, and we win. We save houses. We make houses affordable. So if you want to keep your house affordable, contact us.
Go to bridgeslaw.net or call 224-513-1231. That's 224-513-1231.
Remember, people, never give up the land. Fight for truth and justice. You do that, I guarantee you'll never be alone in this country.
If you want to work until you drop, reduce your standard of living in retirement, or lose more of your hard-earned money in the stock market, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to generate a steady, predictable income, I'm talking real wealth and financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. A free report is now available that reveals the money-making secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. It reveals how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and wealth-building power without risking your money in the Wall Street casino. To get your free special report, visit bankonyourself.com. That's bankonyourself.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Dan, on Friday, Dennis Rodman sat down for his first interview since visiting North Korea for the 5th time. And Michael Strahan knew...
oh, my gosh.
What? Michael Strahan is a great reporter. Who knew?
I'm going to be dumber after listening to
these well, just hear him out. Because Dennis Rodman, he doubled down on his friendship with Kim Jong-un. You
see me just saying, oh my God, this guy's my friend. Guess what? I'm going to die for this guy. No, it's not like that. It's like that. It's a friend of mine. Okay, great. I don't look at the political side about him. Mm-hmm. I look at the friendship about him. And with the whole political, with the kid that's got out and died, I didn't know that I was the one supposed to go over there and get him out.
Yeah.
And the kid that died, you mean Otto Warmbier?
Yeah. Friendship. I can't wait for these two replacing Franco and Rogan in the sequel to The Interview.
Well, the 6-minute exchange also revealed a number of bombshells, including the fact that they believe, they meaning Dennis Rodman and his agent, Chris Volo, they believe that they're the ones who got Otto Warmbier returned. Because remember, the day that Dennis Rodman arrived is the day that he was released.
I know being there had something to do with it because when I was organizing the trip, and I meet with the delegates here, I addressed, Otto Warmbier, and I said to them, we would need some type of good faith if we're ever going to do some type of future sports relations. So I asked 3 times. Before we went, I asked on behalf of Dennis for his release 3 times. And they said they understood. That was all that was said in that meeting.
The same day that you go in, he's released. Do you look at that and think maybe we're being used here? Maybe we're a distraction from that?
I have, but there's no doubt in my mind that these and me asking on his behalf had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, no, if you can't trust a sports agent, particularly Dennis Rodman's agent, who can you trust? I mean, are you kidding me? Here's what I would go by on this. I mean, as compelling and dizzying an intellect as Dennis Rodman is, and, his independent-minded agent, who's just,
Chris Volo. No, of course. It's all about Otto.
Oh, of course. Of course it was. Here's what Fred Warmber said, Otto's father.
Yeah.
When he spoke to the press, he thanked essentially the Trump administration, specifically Joe Yoon, who is the Assistant Secretary of State for Korea and Japan, for their aggressive take, differentiating it from the Obama administration and John Kerry's State Department in pursuing their son's release. That's how it actually went down. You'll note Fred Warmber didn't mention Dennis Rodman's shuttle diplomacy.
Well, actually, he did say that Dennis Rodman was just a distraction and had nothing to do with it. He did mention that. But
right.
Dennis Rodman and his agent have a different view. Now, Dennis Rodman is friends with President Trump. He did not speak to President Trump before he left. He said that. But he can maybe use his relationship to try and convince President Trump to make nice with Kim Jong-un.
If Donald Trump had a chance, he would get on that damn plane and go over and shake his hand and try to make peace.
You're a Trump supporter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, last week you said you think Trump would be pretty much happy.
Oh my God!
With you, did he tell you that? Did you talk to him about it?
I would say, do you seriously, really? You think Donald Trump would give his right arm if he could fix that problem?
But have you talked to him about it?
No, I haven't talked to him. I'm asking him right now. Yeah. Donald, come talk to me. Let's try to work this out.
Well, yeah.
Donald, come talk to me.
I hope.
Action.
I hope Trump's posture on North Korea doesn't endanger the nice friendship that Dennis Rodman has with Kim Jong-un. As I thought, I am now dumber, as are all of you, for having listened to Dennis Rodman and his agent spew this nonsense, and I apologize for this segment.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Ament, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Ament and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Ament needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
A softer touch, Megyn Kelly interviewing Putin or Pete Hegseth interviewing Donald Trump at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. It was so nice. Here's Mike Scott.
Here are the stories we're watching right now. A woman killed in a Chicago crash. 3 wounded in a shooting at a party in Aurora. Illinois lawmakers meet on budget. The outlines include must-haves for both sides. Marlins hang on to clip the Cubs while the A's rally past the White Sox. A breezy day ahead. Clouds and sunshine. Maybe an afternoon thunderstorm and a high of 74. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
President Trump's optimistic Republicans will pass that health care bill. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I don't think they're that far off. Famous last words, right? But I think we're going to get there.
The president on Fox and Friends over the weekend, but not enough Republicans are a yes yet. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, Republicans are split into camps. Ultra-conservatives like Senator Ron Johnson say the bill is too much like Obamacare. Johnson told NBC's Meet the Press.
I would like to delay the thing.
Some moderates are on the fence about concerns about Medicaid expansion. Then there are others who say they'll vote yes. Senator Pat Toomey.
I see this bill as a first step.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin wants Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to put together a bipartisan working group.
We'd have a pathway forward. I think we could fix it.
Both on CBS Face the Nation, Leader McConnell is aiming for a vote by Friday. Dave.
Rachel Takata has filed for bankruptcy protection. The cost of the biggest auto-related recall too high for the Japanese airbag maker, with faulty airbag inflators blamed for at least 16 deaths. There were 69 million recalls in the U.S. A college professor has been let go for for what she posted online about Otto Warmbier, the American who died a week ago after North Korea sent him back in a coma-like state. Fox's Tanya J. Powers has more live.
Dave, Catherine Detweiler was an adjunct faculty member at the University of Delaware. In a Facebook post that's now been deleted, Detweiler commented on an article about Otto Warmbier, saying he, quote, got exactly what he deserved. Detweiler also said he acted, quote, like a spoiled, naive, arrogant U.S. college student who never had to face the consequences of his actions. Warmbier, a University of Virginia student, was arrested in 2015, accused of trying to steal a propaganda banner during a visit to North Korea and convicted of subversion. Dave.
Tanya, a Chinese political prisoner who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2010, a year after he was jailed, Liu Xiaobo, has been freed only because he's terminal with late-stage liver cancer. Fox News, fair and balanced.
58 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Winds are west at 6. At 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Chicago police are searching for the driver of a deadly that took part in a deadly crash in Chicago's River North neighborhood. Authorities say a Nissan slammed into a utility pole and burst into flames. Early this morning near Ontario and Orleans, a female passenger died at the scene. The man driving that vehicle ran off after the incident. Charges are pending after a Chicago police officer and another woman were injured in a hit-and-run accident on the south side. The officer was questioning the woman early yesterday about a possible domestic dispute when a maroon-colored vehicle slammed into both of them near 68th and State, and the driver took off. Authorities are investigating a shooting over the weekend that wounded 3 in Aurora. Police say 2 of the men and a 15-year-old boy were shot Saturday night at a backyard party in the 1800 block of Plum. Aurora police say no arrests have been made. Top Democrat at the Illinois Capitol saying what he needs to agree on a budget deal. House Speaker Mike Madigan telling reporters in Springfield he wants a new law regarding how Illinois pays for schools and his own version of workers' compensation reform that likely will not fly with the governor. But the Speaker has yet to release any budget plan of his own. Proposed cuts to Amtrak's budget by the Trump administration may impact train service from Chicago to Seattle. Also, heavily impact service in Wisconsin, in Toma and La Crosse. Demonstrators gathered there over the weekend. The cuts would mean the loss of the train known as the Empire Builder, which passes through Wisconsin on the way to and from Chicago and Seattle. Marlins beat the Cubs 4-2. A's sweep out the White Sox with a 5-3 win. The news service of the CDC doing an HIV testing campaign. HIV doesn't have a face. It can happen to anyone, anytime, and only takes one time. It's not about you. It's about your community. What's important is that you get tested and tested regularly. Everyone's doing it. Are you? 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity doesn't see the dots connecting.
There is a clear and present danger that the country is now facing, and I'm calling it a soft coup. You have the whole Russia collusion. They're now saying no evidence of Russian collusion. Okay, so what do we have? And, well, we can't get them here. Well, now we'll move on to, is there obstruction?
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get ready to party. Yeah. Gretchen Wilson with the Loving Mary Band. The Charlie Daniels Band. Plus Gunner and the Grizzly Boys. And Fireworks Spectacular after the show. Saturday, July 1st, 6 p.m. at Grand Victoria Casino in Elgin. Tickets on sale now at gvctickets.com. Part of the Grand Victoria Casino Summer Concert Series. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
7:06. It's time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Let's check the roads in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Latest update has the Ontario feeder ramp still closed in River North. Westbound Ontario is blocked Orleans to the Kennedy. That feeder ramp after that overnight fatal crash and fire. Now, this also has big problems in both directions for arterial streets. And on the inbound Kennedy, the Ontario feeder's really jammed with a Gapers delay. Plus, you can't turn left going from Ohio to Orleans because of this situation. So seek another way into downtown other than the Ohio feeder. Right now, the Kennedy. It's 43 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 22 from Montrose and the locals, but 30 in the Express. Outbound 20 minutes to Montrose, 56 to the airport. Aiden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Junction. Outbound 25. The Eisenhower. It is heavy Manheim to 17th with a stall in the left lane. 46 minutes, Thorndale to downtown. Outbound 48. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State delays are from 115th to the My Long Bridge. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Reagan Tollway stop and go 83 to the Tri-State. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A mix of sun and clouds with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, along with a shower or thunderstorm spots for the afternoon and a stray shower in the evening, high 73. Mainly clear night, low 51. Sunshine tomorrow, high 77. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
In Chicago, 58 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So over the weekend, while you were trying to get out of the north side and to play a little golf with the boys, Peyton and Eli, Amy, Donald Trump sat down for an interview.
Riveting.
Very friendly interview, I would say.
You think? I mean, at the end of the interview, did he jump on his lap and say, "Thank you, Santa"?
Pete Hegseth, who's on the weekend version of Fox and Friends, got and he's a veteran. I mean, he's served our country honorably and all that, and I don't mean all that to be dismissive. It's great, and he's a great advocate for veterans' issues. But, I mean, you have to judge him on the quality of his work in that position as well. And this, if you thought Megyn Kelly
was nice,
gave a softball interview to Putin, then you should check out Pete Hegseth's interview with Donald Trump. But they did cover a couple of relevant topics, like the Senate's version of Obamacare replace, which Mitch McConnell wants to bring to a vote the end of this week before the July 4th recess, and which there is, this is a replay of the House. You've got some concerns and stated opposition from a couple of moderate members of the Senate Republican caucus, and then, as we talked about last week, from a handful of conservative members of the Senate Republican caucus as well.
Well, but on that, though, real quick, because Dean Heller, a senator from Nevada, he's the fifth one to jump on. Now there's a pro-Trump super PAC that's threatening $1 million ad campaign against him when he runs for the Senate seat again next year.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, is that fair?
What do you mean, is it fair?
Just because he's coming out against the health care bill. He's not going. He's not in the yes column.
He's a moderate. He's one of the moderates, like Susan Collins also wants to fund Planned Parenthood. So they have some concerns about it. Yeah, that's fair. That's how you institute discipline. That's the only way. I mean, that's what I do at this.
Conform or die.
No, it's not conform or die.
Well.
This is the position. And if you're going to go to D.C. or Springfield, since I run a super PAC that does the exact same thing in part here, then if you're not going to be a proponent of reforming how things are done and how systems operate, then we'll find somebody better. What's wrong with that? That's how a free society works. I disagree with Dean Heller's position. I mean, this is the position super PAC of Trump. I disagree. So we're going to impose a cost for you taking that position. You want to continue taking that position? So take it. But understand that there's a cost to be paid because.
Right, but then who's next? I mean.
Well, so anybody's next.
Anybody's next.
Who cares?
Anybody of the five, Ron Johnson.
Well, who cares? This is. What is this fascination? Who's next? Do we have to protect politicians? Are these the only individuals that can serve as a U.S. senator? Of course not. In states of millions of people. So what?
Rand Paul, Ted Cruz?
These offices are not their birthright. Here's how you move, and you move an agenda and you institute discipline. You put politicians in the vice. You have always got to be applying pressure, even to some of the more principled ones. Remember what Milton Friedman said about politics. It is the art of getting the wrong people to do the right thing. And how you get the wrong people to do the right thing? Pressure.
Well, that's pressure.
Put pressure with respect to their self-interest. What's their self-interest? Re-election. Absolutely. Unequivocally. No one is immune. The idea that anyone should be immune from implications for policy decisions is the mentality that advances the ruling class. These are our temporary representatives, not our betters. All of them are replaceable. And then Trump giving a paean to bipartisanship. Ugh.
The level of hostility, as an example, the health care bill that you are reporting on and everybody's reporting on, it would be so great if the Democrats and Republicans could get together, wrap their arms around it, and come up with something that everybody's happy with. It's so easy. But we won't get one Democrat vote, not one. And if it were the greatest bill ever proposed in mankind, we wouldn't get a vote.
All politicians do this. All presidents do this. They make this, sort of mostly phony baloney overture to the other side. It's just tiresome. He's supposed to be the drain the swamp truth teller guy. This bipartisanship, lamenting the lack of bipartisanship. Give me a break. Yes, you have to do deals. I get that. But let's understand something. Let's start at the premise. The premise is people aren't starting from the same premise. They have very different worldviews, very different ideas about the role of government in a free society. So they're going to draw very different conclusions. Get over it. Stop falling prey to the siren song of bipartisanship. That's, by the way, the tune that the ruling class in this state has been playing for half a century. How's that working out in the worst governed state in the history of America? Come on. We need better. And we also need better than this legislation being described as too mean or too nice.
Well, they actually used my term, mean. That was my term, because I want to see, and I speak from the heart. That's what I want to see. I want to see a bill with heart.
I want to see a bill that makes economic sense. You know what the best way to pass legislation that has heart is?
What?
To expand individual liberty at the expense of the state. Is the government the distributor of compassion? Do you believe that? When you think compassion, do you think federal government? I mean, seriously, compassion is the one-on-one caregiver, somebody that does something for you, a private organization,
well,
a nonprofit.
lot of people want the government to take care of them.
Yes, well, but
and they want to be coddled, and they want their Medicaid, and they're worried that it's going to be cut, and they want their premiums lowered.
They say that, right, and instead of responding to the premise, we just respond to their stated view. The premise: do you think government is a good disseminator of compassion? Because if you don't, then that has certain implications. And oh, by the way, one of the reasons why so much federal and state money is, and in some respects, you could argue not enough in states like Illinois, is disseminated to private organizations to provide those services is because the government's bad at providing them. So give me a break with this mean, nice, an Obamacare replacement bill that makes sense. Here's how you have it have heart. Reduce the costs, the premiums, reduce the deductibles, empower people with choice to identify and obtain a plan that comports with their specific or their family-specific health insurance and by extension health care needs. That's how you do it.
Bind insurance across state lines. I mean, there needs to be more competition,
and
so that the premiums are reduced.
And Trump thinks we're going to get there.
They're four very good people. They're friends of mine. And I don't think they're that far off. I don't think they're that far off. You know, famous last words, right? But I think we're going to get there.
So we'll see on Thursday and Friday. This is, as I said, shaping up to be very similar to the division, the internal divisions and struggles and arguments in the House. But they're on the clock to get
something done
moved
before the 4th of July break. And Senator Ron Johnson said it's not going to happen. I mean, it'll happen, but they need more time. So maybe in next fall they could reach it?
No, it's not going to be next fall. It's going to be either before the 4th of July break or before the August recess, if there is a recess, or nothing. And
should they even have a recess in August if they don't get this settled or a tax plan settled?
They can do the same legislative dinner theater that we're seeing in Springfield if they want. The point is to get leadership to whip their caucuses in support of this legislation, if that's, if that's really what they want. And President Trump needs to pick a position and stick with it for 5 seconds. He supported and advocated for the House version. Then he says the Senate version needs to be nicer. So where's he going to be even if the Senate does pass it and then they go to conference to reconcile the differences between the two versions of the replace before sending it to the president's desk? The lack of clarity, the lack of simple, linear arguments to make the case to the American people for this replacement, however imperfect it is, and it's got a lot of imperfections, as have been pointed out by many conservative free market senators and members of the House too. But this is the guy who's the art of the deal, and you understand that part of the art of the deal is persuading people to your viewpoint. I think very much like what we have with the Republican governor in this state, they're not doing a very good job of persuading people to their viewpoint at this point.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Breezy, clouds, sun, a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, a high of 74 degrees. Tonight we have a stray evening shower. Otherwise, it'll be pretty cool. No air conditioning again. A low of 52 degrees. And then tomorrow it'll be 77 degrees with plenty of sunshine. Any sunshine in River North? Let's get the latest from Jim Talamonte, who joins us in our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Well, Amy, the Ontario feeder is still closed after the major overnight crash and vehicle fire. There's an ongoing investigation. There is a tow truck at the scene now, so perhaps we'll get some movement. But with that Ontario feeder still closed, still have a lot of congestion in River North, and it's got a big gapers delay on the Ohio feeder coming into downtown. So on the candidates, the locals are quicker than the express by a lot. 51 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 24 from Montrose in the locals, 33 in the express lanes. There's no turning left from Ohio to Orleans. If you're headed that way, take another exit. Eden's inbound, 19 minutes Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound, it's 24. The Eisenhower, 46 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound, 55. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 3:55 to the drive. Outbound, 40. Bryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, really jammed, 115th to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Reagan Tollway, still 83 to the Tri-State Veterans Memorial. And the Butterfield to Roosevelt, Northwest Indiana's great. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Are you or a family member suffering from addiction or substance abuse? If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, don't know where to go, or have relapsed, Haymarket Center can help. Haymarket Center wants you and your family to know that addiction is a treatable medical condition. With more than 30 comprehensive programs, Haymarket Center has successfully provided addiction solutions for tens of thousands of individuals and their families since 1975. Haymarket Center's comprehensive approach is at the heart of what they do. They address the whole person, including their substance abuse, mental health, and medical care. Their family-based treatment plan allows families to be part of the treatment program so everyone can be part of the recovery. Treatment does work. There can be a solution. Recovery is possible. Haymarket Center's message to you, hope starts here. Call Haymarket Center now for an assessment at 312-CAN-HELP, 312-CAN-HELP, or visit hcenter.org. That's hcenter.org.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7, only on AM 560, The Answer.
So, Dan, I'm really worried about you. I had 2 police officers come up to me this weekend and say, your friend Dan, we don't like him. And I said, why? And they said, well, he's telling us that our pension is going to be dried up by 2021, right? Is that what the time was?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I said, well, it's not him that you should hate. Those are the facts. I mean, information sometimes really scares people. And the information that you uncovered through your newspaper has scared a lot of police officers.
They're not mad at me. They're mad at math. And I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, mad at me for reporting on the numbers. It's
unbelievable.
The reports that the Chicago Police Pension Fund files with the State Department of Insurance. And all we did was project out based on rate of return and annual expenditures for current beneficiaries. So I'll tell you, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
You're not going to get invited to the FOP golf tournament this year.
Chicago police want to call in? Call in. I mean, the suspension of disbelief in this state, I have to go back to it. I don't operate the Chicago Police Pension Fund. But I can...
Well, they felt it was an attack on their fraternity because you said that their pension was going to dry up.
Yeah. It's 12 years of Department of Insurance reports that we looked at and then made those projections based on that trajectory. Here's the deal.
I told them that they should be hailing you as a hero, by the way.
Here's the deal. Yeah, well...
Not as a villain.
We were sending the warning signal. It's not just about the police fund. By the way, this was repurposed by others who are well-versed in simple math and understand how public sector pensions work. I'm not getting any disagreement Chicago police officer. I hate to break it to you. And I don't report this with glee.
No.
I've been talking about this, as many others have, for decades.
Well, they got so many phone calls that the FOP had to respond, and
They did respond.
Friday at 8:45 in the morning.
They did respond, but this response is here's the
read the response.
Here's the response from Lodge 7 President Kevin Graham. Received many inquiries regarding the status of the pension fund, response to media claims that it's in danger of running out of money in the near future. This is not true. Current actuarial projections prepared for the pension funds do not include a time at which the fund has depleted all assets. The media failed to mention that Illinois law mandates that the pension fund be 90% funded by the year 2055. Okay. First of all, we did a follow-up story. We contacted Lodge 7 for a comment. It gave us a no comment.
Really?
Number one. Number two, let's see your actuarial numbers. FOP, for your members, post your projections. Let's compare them to what we reported. Don't tell me that they give the general wave off. Actuarial projections prepared for the pension fund do not indicate a time. Blah, 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 blah. Post the numbers. Be transparent. And let's just see. How about that? Secondly, Illinois law mandates that the pension be funded at 90% by the year 2055. Is that a joke? Are you kidding me? How do you stand by that statement? You're talking about a pension fund that is less than 25% funded now, that has on the order of $8.1 billion in debt. That's a 2015 number. A number that's doubled since 2003, since we're talking data here, not opinions, talking math. 2055. How did it get to less than 25% funded in 2017 if it was as simple as the law mandating this or that? Do you live in Chicago and Illinois? Have you seen how the rule of law is treated, particularly with respect to funding public sector pensions? Are you kidding me? So, Chicago police, you can believe the numbers or you can believe the spin. I'm telling you right now, the spin is not going to work out very well for you. And I say that with regret. I want people to get what they earned, even if the deal was a little sweeter than we could afford, because we created reliance as a state or as a city, and people deserve to get what they earned. And I'm telling you right now, by the way, Second City Cop, which is a popular Chicago police blog, he posted it too. And he also added, after providing a synopsis of the analysis we did at Chicago City Wire, Second City Cop writes, "We have more retirees than ever before, and the 55 and out provision seems almost designed to ruin the pension. Aside from killing off every retiree, a difficult task given most are armed and willing to shoot back, a day of reckoning is fast approaching." Are you angry at Second City Cop too? If I don't like reality, I could just ignore it and it goes away. Really? I'm afraid you're going to find out that's not true, and you're going to find out real soon. Just again, 2021, the fund will have less than $150 million in assets at the end of 20, and have $928 million promised to 14,133 retirees in 2021.
That system can't sustain itself.
You disagree with
gosh.
You disagree with the numbers the Chicago Police Pension Fund filed with the Department of Insurance? Go ahead. Their reports. You disagree with our projections based on a large enough data set of annualized returns and projected payouts? Come on with the math. Don't say you said a bad thing about our pension and I'm mad at you. Grow up. Seriously. Bill on the west side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello. I think it's Bill on the north side.
Oh, Bill on the north side. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Back when they lost that big amount of money in the pension fund, they bought a bunch of real estate. And it was, if you look at the buildings they bought, they were all politically connected people. They paid top dollar for that money, for them properties. And then the market crashed, or the real estate market crashed, and they lost billions of dollars. That is an investigation you should run into. And I tell all of the retired police, and all the working police, if you vote Democrat, you deserve to lose your pension because they're stealing. Just because you got a alderman who's giving you a sweet spot somewhere, so you're a loyal Democrat, he don't care about your pension. Once you're gone, if they take your pension, you got nothing. So you better vote with your head and not your position, so you get a sweet spot over there. That's all.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Appreciate that. And let me just put a fine point on it.
Mm-hmm.
Without the ability to use active employee contributions to pay current retirees, which what we call in the private sector a Ponzi scheme, the fund would have already run out of money back in 2015. Without the financial prestidigitation that you can do in the public sector, at least in this state, but you would be thrown in jail in the private sector, it would have already capsized. It's a real deal, folks. Police officers, and by the way, Chicago municipal workers and laborers and firefighters are right behind you, as are police officers and firefighters in municipalities all over the state. And we're going to report on local units of government, the municipalities, and their pension funds for police and fire as well in the coming weeks and months. So you know, and you can't pretend that you didn't know. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? Attack me? Curse math? Or are you going to do something to change the political balance of power in this state so you can change the trajectory of both your pensions and their funding levels as well as your future in Illinois? That's the question.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, he has a suggestion to break up Illinois. Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass joins us. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
59 degrees, clouds and sunshine. Here are the stories we're following in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. The president welcomes the Prime Minister of India to the White House today. It will be their first face-to-face meeting. The death toll now at more than 150 after an oil tanker explodes in Pakistan. 9 are dead, 24 missing after a tourist boat sinks in Colombia, about 30 miles east of Medellin. Congressional Budget Office will release its breakdown of the Senate Republican health care bill today. A CBO analysis of the House version predicted some benefit to the tax structure and to the deficit, but also predicted more than 23 million would be uninsured. Japanese airbag maker Takata has filed for bankruptcy protection in Tokyo and the United States, saying it was the only way to ensure it could carry on supplying replacements for faulty airbag inflators linked to the deaths of at least 16. Pro-ISIS hackers are reportedly targeting government websites in Ohio. A hacking group linked to the terror organization posted pro-ISIS messages on Ohio Governor John Kasich's website and several others. Before taking their long summer break, the Supreme Court poised to act on the Trump administration's travel ban and a separation of church and state dispute involving a Missouri church playground. However, something could overshadow all of those rulings if Justice Anthony Kennedy were to use the court's last public session today to announce his retirement. Chicago police are looking for the driver of a deadly crash in Chicago's River North neighborhood. Authorities say a Nissan slammed into a utility pole and burst into flames at Ontario and Orleans. A female passenger died at the scene. The man driving the vehicle ran off. Marlins over the Cubs 4-2. A's complete a 3-game sweep of the White Sox with a 5-3 victory. The News is a service of the CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. It's not just about you, it's about your community. HIV doesn't have a face. It can happen to anyone. What's important is that you get tested, and you get tested regularly. Everyone does it to stay strong. Everyone's doing it. Are you? 7:35. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period. If your roof is needy, if your roof is leaky,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof isn't right after it's stormy and shingles are curly,
call Grumweedy.
If your roof is looking needy, call Crumweedy. This is Mark Olson of Crumweedy. And I'm Greg Olson from Cromweedy. We are a third-generation family-run business. We've been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953.
You really can't do that unless you do really amazing roofs. We share the same conservative values as you, and we really want to do your roof. Here's what you can expect.
First, no high pressure. You make the choice. Whatever option you choose, count on getting a roof that lasts at a fair price.
You see, application is really the key. We follow the manufacturer's specifications so your warranty is intact. You know, a lot of companies don't do that, and that could really void your warranty.
No horror stories here. The roof you need that will fix your problems. When your roof is needy,
call Cromweedy.
For your needy roof, go to myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
Hey, did you know that the cell phone you're holding right now is likely supporting the liberal agenda of Nancy Pelosi and Bernie Sanders? It's true. Most of the big cell phone companies contribute to the pro-abortion agenda, gun control, and open borders. That's why you should use that cell phone in your hand and call 1-800-A-PATRIOT to switch to Patriot Mobile, the nation's only conservative cell phone company. Patriot Mobile offers the same great nationwide coverage you're used to, the newest cell phones, and they'll even buy out your current contract with credits up to $500 per line or $1,500 per account. And when you switch to Patriot Mobile, they'll donate up to 5% of their monthly proceeds to the conservative cause of your choice at no extra cost to you. You can bring your number and your phone or get new ones. Call 1-800-A-PATRIOT right now to get a plan and device that fits your needs, or go to patriotmobile.com/Joe. Use promo code Joe and they'll waive the activation fee. 1-800-A-PATRIOT or patriotmobile.com/Joe. Promo code Joe.
7:37 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. River North, the Ontario feeder is still closed going to the Kennedy Expressway, and there's no turning from the Ohio feeder left out of Orleans, so there's heavy congestion in that area. The Ohio feeder is jammed. Your inbound travel time on the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown is 51 minutes. It's 24 from Montrose in the locals, but 33 in the express lanes. Outbound 49 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Edens, inbound Crate, 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Eisenhower is 43 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 55. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 41 minutes. Bryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, so Washington to 176. Northbound, very heavy, 115th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Traffic Service, CDC's doing an HIV testing campaign. Everyone's doing it. Everyone is testing for HIV. Lead by example. Knowing your HIV status allows you to stay healthy. It's fast, free, and confidential. Make HIV testing part of your routine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Breezy day ahead, clouds and sunshine, with a thunderstorm possible this afternoon, high 74. Currently 59. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And it turns out that Illinois residents can do something that Illinois Pauls won't do, and that's follow the logic on taxing and spending policy. At upstream-ideas.com, the digital platform that complements our show, we did one of our Man on the Street Follow the Logic segments, and we asked a pretty good cross-section of Illinois residents in the suburbs what they thought of this special session, the options, what afflicts Illinois. Is it mainly a spend problem, or is it mainly a tax problem? Here's what they said.
Do you think the state has a spending problem, or do you think it's a revenue problem? So in other words, do you think the solution needs to be spending cuts, or reining in spending, or do you think that we need to increase taxes primarily?
I think there's certain areas where we could certainly cut our spending. I'm sure that's always going to be the case. But I also think that we're missing opportunities to bring in additional tax revenue as well, not necessarily from just a working stiff homeowner, but perhaps luring in additional businesses and that could bring in a larger tax base that aren't either moving out of Illinois or aren't choosing to come to Illinois.
I think it's some of both.
Raising taxes is not ideal for Illinois. People are moving out of Illinois because of taxes. They do have to make cuts.
Definitely not tax increases. I think that they have a big problem with spending.
I really don't know, but I think we could have more revenue if we would focus in on what's really important to spend it on.
I think it's definitely a spending problem.
And so even if you were open to tax increases, which few are, but
Oh yeah,
for those
no,
that
I want to
are-
be taxed. Tax me.
No, but for those who think, well, this is a fair way to resolve this budget impasse. But here's the problem. Do you trust Springfield Pauls to spend your money the way they advertise they're going to spend it?
Do you trust the politicians in Springfield to spend your money wisely?
No.
No, they haven't shown to me that they haven't proven to me that they can be good with it.
Not really. Absolutely not.
I guess I don't. I tend to be a very trusting person, but it hasn't been working. So, that's kind of logically, it tells me something's wrong somewhere.
No, definitely not.
No, definitely not. And that's why our friend, Chicago Tribune columnist John Cass, penned a piece last week suggesting, tongue-in-cheek, what Prequinkeltopia?
Yeah,
Taxwinkeltopia?
Ramonia.
Right. Madigan, to dissolve Illinois, break it up into fiefdoms for the political lords. So
Yeah.
Ramonia, Taxwinkeltopia, Madaganistan, of course.
Yeah, Madaganistan's my favorite.
Yeah, that's a long
But basically making Chicago South Milwaukee, really.
Well, so a lot of Illinoisans seem to get it. There's a disconnect between the political leadership and rank and file families in this state. But is there a revolt brewing that could keep John Cass from continuing to promote his dissolution idea? I don't know. Why don't we ask him? Tribune columnist John Cass joins us now. John, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How are you?
So does the fact that just that little anecdotal evidence, in addition to a lot of the survey data, suggest that people get it, they're not on board for tax increases, and they want statutory spending caps, and they want spending cuts, and they want essentially a lot of the reforms Governor Rauner campaigned on that he seems to be walking away from? Does that give you any hint of optimism for the future of the state?
Well, that's why I started hashtag Dissolve Illinois, because Rauner seems to be walking away from that stuff. And all I can see is, I've only been doing this for 300 years, so have you. And all I can see is the same damn thing, institutional investors, the big guys with the money, pushing on him to, increase revenue. Everyone's happy, kick the can down the road, and everybody out in the suburbs, I'm wondering, do I tear up the grass and dig potatoes, put potatoes in here in my backyard? Or do I join the other wildlings and go beyond the wall? Because
nice.
I don't
Nice
know.
Game of Thrones preview. It's just a few weeks away, the season premiere.
Well, that's why I put it on Twitter. I put a bonus question: which one of these is not Michael Madigan? And you're in there. I don't know if they know that.
Yeah, but according to your pie chart here, how they'd cut up Illinois, Ramonia, I would have to live in Ramonia because I'm within a few blocks.
40 acres. 40 acres and a mule for Ram, so he could be the prince of his own kingdom.
Yeah.
Even though right now I think, isn't he, and maybe Fareed Zakaria can be his press secretary.
Oh yeah, that was a
I
that was
don't
a
know.
nice interview. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard hitting.
It was.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I'm getting I feel some bad juju coming out of Rauner, don't you? A little bit.
Well, no, that's what he is proposing is abject capitulation. It would be catastrophic economically for the state. It would continue to be. You think we can't get worse? It can get worse. And politically, it would be game over. He would lose the governor's race. He'd lose reelect. Republicans, I believe, would fail to make any gains in the General Assembly, probably lose seats, and we'd be in the super minority for another generation. So,
or he can fight.
Well, that's right. Well, that's the option that he has. He's chosen not really to want to take it in any public way where you make an articulable case for the position you're taking. And it's a bit baffling to me, I got to tell you, based on the data, the survey data, which is very clear. It's not close. And I know he's been apprised of that survey data, and there's no dispute about what the general electorate is saying. And yet, it's funny, John, I mentioned this point before. It seems like the moderate Kirk types are the real ideologues. We're going to do big government tax and spend policy despite the evidence. In spite of the data, in spite of what the electorate is telling us, we're going to pursue this anyway because we know better. So for as much flack as conservatives get for being too ideologically rigid, it's the moderate Vichy Republicans that are the ideologues when it comes to advancing big government, because I guess at the end of the day, they're just more dealers in big government.
Yeah, it's seen it from Casablanca at the end where they're walking across the tarmac in the rain. But I caution the governor and everybody else, because really you've been talking about all morning about it's really the math, okay? It comes down to the math. We're getting hit out here with, 30% tax increase, okay? Telling me that you're going to just hold off on tax increases for another, our assessments are going up. So telling me you're going to hold off on tax increases for 4 years without making any substantial cuts, without making any real reform, all it tells me is, okay, I got a couple weeks before I have to move to Indiana. Maybe I could live maybe I could live next to Mitch Daniels' house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I could move there and just.
Well, John, No, John, are you seriously want to move to Indiana? I mean, we all want to leave, but will you do it though?
I want the governor of Illinois to stand up to the Night King, okay, and say, "You shall not pass." I want him to say, "This is it." The people, because everybody out in the suburbs, all the vote that voted for Rauner, people are getting squeezed. They don't want they don't want capitulation. They want to fight or go.
Well, right.
And I don't know why Rauner's people, the Kirk boys, with the backbones of Jello, why are they leading him down this path? Because I'll tell you, and Dan's right, the governor understands the politics, and he's trying to balance that against what? The insiders and the Civic Federation and everybody. And
well, this is it, John, right? As you've been doing this 300 years, you know what's happening. What's happened, past tense, is he's been captured by the inside game. His audience is the government class and the elites that are stakeholders in the government class, rather than the 95% of Illinois families outside that bubble, out on the hustings that are really his base support, the revolt that could be stoked, and the changeover in political power that could happen if that revolt was stoked.
He's got, if he listens to them, it'll be, why don't you just call him Edgar with a flannel shirt, okay? Or Jim Thompson, without the white shoes and white belt and the leisure suit, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a good look.
And if he fights it, then if he actually does fight it, there are enough people out here who are starting to realize that if and look, I'm a journalist. I'm not a political activist. And if this were, some Republican-dominated state with a Republican-dominated legislature for 30 years spending us into hell, I'd be saying the opposite. But right now, I'm telling you, in Illinois, the one thing people have to understand, if you vote for a Democrat for state rep, all you're doing is voting for Mike Madigan to be your boss. It's really, there's no other question about it.
Yeah, but they have to get the message across more. I mean, I don't think people realize that in, the suburbs where you live.
Yeah, I don't think so. And not everybody out here is tied into benefits. We're not everybody is eating off the government trough. I mean, there's one thing that they should be doing is providing, I think, help to the developmentally disabled. But I think the Democrats are holding on to that and squeezing people on that. And Rauner doesn't seem to have the
ability for the jiu-jitsu necessary to counter and strike. I just don't see it. You know,
Well,
Dan and I talked about this when I filled in for you, Amy, a few months ago. And what did we give them, Dan? 90 days to make a deal? I mean, to just decide whether to fight or not? Right?
Yeah. I mean, that's...
What's with Amy?
I had to sneeze.
Yeah, that's very...
It's the birds in your background. My allergies are acting up.
Good grief.
Amy, I'm in my Serenity
Jimmy
Garden.
Durante.
If I were there with all that cat hair in that studio, I would be dead right now.
Well, yeah.
I do bring it to work with me. It's on the chair.
Oh, my God. I have to take a Sudafed every time I film it.
But so John, here's the thing, though. That, you know, we talk about all the people leaving, and an underreported aspect of that is these are a lot of people who don't want to leave. They're not rushing for the exits because they want to. They're being forced out, as you said. They're being squeezed, and so those are the individuals. And it's not just the people that have made the move or in process, but are contemplating it a few years down the road when they retire or the kids are out of school. That's Rauner's natural constituency if he wants it, because nobody else is going to own it. And so what they'll do, you know, this whole thing that these political operatives, this philosophy always pursues, and it worked so great for Mark Kirk in the Senate race last year, is, oh, well, where are conservatives like Dan and John going to go? Where are Republicans going to go? They're going to stay home. They're going to stay home, and you're going to you will not have the numbers that you need trying to appeal to champagne socialists on the lakefront and the North Shore. So it's a dead bang loser.
And what he's doing is listening to some. I mean, he reads some disagreeable little Madigan troll, you know, in the blogs in Springfield, and I thinks that's the reality. That's not the reality. He's got to realize that.
Does Mike Madigan? Oh, sorry. Does Mike Madigan have a cell phone yet where you can reach him? I mean, does he take your phone calls, John?
I don't know. Did Sheldon Silver have a cell phone? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, though, John. If Madigan decided for, you know, whatever reason to retire tomorrow, what would change? What would change? The idea, you know, part of this is, it seems to me, the Republican Party has invested so much in just Madigan is the boogeyman. And yes, does he?
Because he is.
Well, but hold on a second. I concede the point that he bears the preponderance of the blame for destroying the state's economy. But if he retired tomorrow, you would have a lesser apparatchik take over. And but the policy, it wouldn't all of a sudden be the land of milk and honey. So then what do we have besides Madigan sucks?
It wouldn't be, let's put it this way, Hayek would still feel uncomfortable in Illinois. You know, literally.
My dog or the economist?
And metaphorically, right? They would have Selma instead. Because, yes, is Madigan the boogeyman? Yes, he is. But we've seen the Republican Party in this state basically mock the grassroots voters for so many years that I think people are getting, they want to believe, they want to fight, they want to stay, they want to live in their towns, they don't want to get driven out, they want to be near their children, they like their neighborhoods, and these, the Republican, well, that's one of the reasons why years ago I stopped being a Republican, for that reason. You know, because of how they operate here.
And you know what they're doing now, too. It's, you know, we can't die on this hill. We can't die on this hill of not having a budget. We can't die on this hill of some schools not opening if there's no stopgap. It's always surrendering in the present so you can surrender in the future. And so my question, too, is, and this is something for everybody to consider, so what hill will you die on? Is there a hill that you will die on, metaphorically, where you will draw a line and you will defend that line? And for Illinois Republicans, there doesn't seem to be one. And that's a recipe for surrender or a routing, one of the two.
Yeah, just ask, you know, it's almost like, I know that there are many good Republicans who are fighting this thing, who believe in, you know, what you're saying, but there are just as many who want to make the road builders happy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem.
He is John Cash, Chicago Tribune columnist. What to do with a broken Illinois? Dissolve the land of Lincoln is John Cash's idea, with full complement of Game of Thrones references. John, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you. Bye.
Bye. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Yes, indeed. Summertime. Another hot one. Wait, gonna be a little bit cooler today. Back to hot. Gonna be windy. Maybe a thunderstorm mixed in for good measure. Up and down and up and down. The climate is always changing. Your company's heating and cooling system really gets a workout in Chicagoland. Be ready for anything this summer. Call Air Comfort and get your business's cooling system tuned up and running at peak performance. You see, the Air Comfort problem solvers can find small problems before they become big problems. Plus, proper maintenance will keep your system from wasting energy and money. Air Comfort will make sure your equipment is clean and obstacle-free. And if your chiller is about to or has stopped working, they can install temporary solutions to keep you cool while the long-term fixes are put in place. The key to keep your climate from changing is preventative maintenance, and Air Comfort can help. Schedule a comprehensive assessment of your mechanical system today. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. According to creditcard.com, cardholders in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan are carrying over $33,000 of debt on their credit cards. The Federal Reserve recently increased the interest rates 1/4 point, which, according to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, will increase the average credit card holder's interest payments $825 a year. The good news is home values have rebounded, so now is an excellent time to use your home's equity to eliminate your stress, pay off credit card debt, and lower your monthly payments. To see if you can use your home's equity to pay off your debt, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. In 2008, Barack Obama scaled Chicago's big government trafficking operation nationally. The nation got only a small taste of the damage Chicago's RICO-style governance inflicts. Illinois has not been so fortunate. The kleptocratic kingpins who run the city that works you over have relegated Illinois to the status of a cautionary tale as to how a poisonous government-centric culture turns the state into one giant Ponzi scheme. Politics pervades everything in Illinois. The result is that the nation's highest combined state and local tax burden has proven no match for the spending appetites of Pauls who've racked up $250 billion in debt while skipping out on more tabs than Leona Helmsley in her heyday. With collapse in the offing, the Sicarios for Illinois' political crime family seek a federal lifeline in the form of state bankruptcy. Congress should consider removing sovereign immunity protections to make an example of those who turned Illinois into the bad example. Of America's 50 laboratories of democracy, Illinois is the meth lab. If we want to prevent more states from getting hooked on junk governance, the Bernie Madoff treatment should be applied to those who cook the books in Illinois.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Your sump pump is the only thing in your home standing in the way of water rushing in and damaging the personal belongings you care so deeply about. Yet it is often the most overlooked and unappreciated system in your home. Your car has a check engine light, your computer warns against viruses, and your fridge tells you when to change the filter. So why shouldn't a sump pump warn you if there's a risk of losing tens of thousands of dollars in water damage? A pump that just beeps warnings at you is no good if you don't hear it. Over the decades of our business, we have experienced and analyzed every reason why people's homes flood. With today's technology, we believe that flooding is not just unacceptable, it is now completely preventable. That's why today's best practice for flood prevention is to install a protector system with built-in self-testing and notification. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
AM 560, The Answer.
They're almost ready for a summer vacation. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Supreme Court has 6 cases left to rule on as it wraps up its term, but overshadowing that, questions if a justice will retire and President Trump's travel ban. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The court may decide as early as today whether to allow the Trump administration to immediately enforce a 90-day ban on visitors from 6 mostly Muslim countries with ties to terrorism. Speculation also swirling about a retirement announcement today from Justice Anthony Kennedy, which would give President Trump his second high court pick in his first 6 months in office. Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway.
He will appoint people, nominate people who have fidelity to the Constitution, don't just legislate from the bench, make it up as they go along.
Kennedy, a Reagan appointee, will turn 81 next month. Dave?
John, President Trump has just tweeted some more about Russia, writing the reason President Obama did nothing after being notified by the CIA about meddling. He expected Hillary Clinton would win, adding, President Obama didn't choke, he colluded or obstructed, and it did the Democrats and crooked Hillary no good. The president has also tweeted about Democrats, again calling them obstructionists with no policies or ideas, writing all they do is delay and complain. This after Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer put chances Republicans pass an Obamacare replacement bill at 50-50.
Democrats, we are doing everything we can to fight this bill because it's so devastating for the middle class.
Republicans don't have the votes yet. 5 oppose it, including Senator Rand Paul, who also tells ABC's This Week it doesn't go far enough repealing the old law.
The fundamental flaw of Obamacare was that it added regulations to insurance, mandates, which made insurance more expensive.
Some other GOP senators are undecided, waiting for a Congressional Budget Office analysis of the plan that may come out today. The mother of Philando Castile, the black motorist killed by a Minnesota police officer last year, has reached a nearly $3 million settlement with the city of St. Anthony. The officer was acquitted in the shooting. Fox News, fair and balanced.
59 degrees, clouds, and sunshine. 8:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. In the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom, Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Here are the stories we're following this morning on WIND Chicago. Chicago police are looking for the driver of a deadly crash in the River North neighborhood. Authorities say a Nissan coupe slammed into a utility pole, split apart, and burst into flames near Ontario and Orleans. A female passenger died at the scene. A man driving that vehicle ran off. Charges pending against a Chicago police officer and a woman after a Chicago police officer and a woman were injured in a hit and run. The officer was out of the squad questioning the woman about a possible domestic dispute when a maroon-colored vehicle slammed into them near 68th and State. The driver then took off. One person was later taken into custody. A Chicago woman accused of slamming her car into another woman and killing her last month has been charged with murder. 28-year-old Kenya Washington was arrested Saturday and appeared in court Sunday, where a judge ordered her held in lieu of $1 million bail. Police say on May 17, Washington had gotten into an argument with someone on the city's west side when she climbed into a car and drove into multiple people. Marlins score 3 in the first and hold on to top the Cubs 4-2 in Miami. Cubs open up a 4-game set with the Nationals tonight. A's over the White Sox 5-3. Sox and Yankees begin a 4-game series tonight. The news service of the CDC's doing an HIV testing campaign. Everyone's doing it. Everyone testing for HIV. Lead by example. Know your HIV status. It allows you to stay healthy. Fast, free, and confidential. Make HIV testing part of your routine. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here is Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, airbag maker Takata has filed for bankruptcy reorganization in the U.S. and Japan. Most of the company will likely be sold to a rival auto supplier, Key Safety Systems. European regulators are reportedly close to imposing a fine of more than $1 billion on Google's parent company, Alphabet. The Wall Street Journal says the European Commission is accusing Alphabet of violating antitrust rules. Among other allegations, Google is accused of favoring its own comparison shopping service. Sonic is making some changes to get customers back to its drive-through restaurants. CEO Cliff Hudson says Sonic will be promoting new menu items and half-price deals. Sonic has also redesigned its smartphone ordering app. The Dow dropped 2 on Friday, NASDAQ up 28, S&P up 3. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
With Quicken Loans, our simple process helps you understand all the details so you can be confident that you're getting the right mortgage. Call 800-QUICKEN or go completely online with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.875%, APR 4.23%. Call 800-QUICKEN or get started online at rocketmortgage.com. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
8:07. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. That Ontario feeder ramp is still closed after the early morning crash and car fire, and there's no turning left from Ohio onto Orleans, so that has the inbound Ohio feeder jammed. Travel time on the inbound Kennedy is an hour from O'Hare to downtown. It's 31 minutes from Montrose, but 45 in the express lanes. Outbound 25 minutes to Montrose, but an hour downtown to the airport. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 29. The Eisenhower, 45 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 29 from Manheim, outbound 59 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 47 minutes. The Ryan is 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, it's jammed, 132 to 137. Northbound delays are from 111th most of the way to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Reagan Tollway heavy Yakby to 355 and 83 to the Tri-State. Down north from Boughton to the Reagan Tollway, Butterfield to St. Charles, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, sunshine mixing with some clouds, a shower or a thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon, high 73, a stray evening shower. Otherwise tonight, clear to partly cloudy with a low 51. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
58 at O'Hare, 59 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by MyPainChicago.com. World-class treatment for chronic pain. Go to MyPainChicago.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We've got some breaking news.
Yeah, Philando Castile's family. Remember, he was the passenger in the car when he was shot by the St. Anthony police officer in Minnesota.
Driver.
Excuse me. Yeah, his family has received a $3 million settlement.
Okay.
So, and then Michael Brown's family, because before we had talked about it, but they received $1.5 million.
It's a pretty good deal for attacking a police officer, robbing a convenience store. It's not bad money. I hate to be cynical about it. I know Michael Brown died, and that's unfortunate, but he was the aggressor. He was the perpetrator. That deserves a $1.5 million settlement? I don't think so.
Well, Philando Castile's family, though, I think they deserve the $3 million.
The officer was acquitted.
Mm-hmm.
Preponderance is a different standard than reasonable doubt, I understand, in a civil trial. But, well, moving on, the Gay Pride Parade yesterday.
It's a great day to be gay. That's what they say.
Unless you're Jewish and gay in Chicago.
Yeah, breaking news. And it's going around the world. This story, Jewish women with Star of David rainbow flags banned from the Chicago Pride March. Now, the Saturday before the Gay Pride Parade, they have what's called the Dyke March.
Of course, the undercard.
Well, it's the 21st annual Dyke March, and they were marching in it, and they were removed.
So here's what's actually happening. The organizers of the Dyke March said that their flags with the Star of David on them, quote, made people feel unsafe, unquote. This is an extension. By the way, this is tolerant social justice style. So just so you understand what tolerance looks like, it looks like anti-Semitism. Or in Minnesota, going back to Minnesota, the initial position of organizers of the march there, no cops. They rescinded under pressure, but that was their initial position. That's tolerant social justice style, just so you understand it. And the particular strain of anti-Semitism that was on display in Chicago is an extension of campus politics, the BDS movement, boycott, divestment, and sanction against Israel. And I got to tell you, if you're not paying attention to the real existence of anti-Semitism, the vitriol from the social justice left against Jews, despite the fact that 75% of Jews vote Democrat, as I think it was Dennis Miller who said, Reform Judaism is the Democrat Party with holidays. That's what it is in practice. And but here's the thing. Read everyone from the left, Alan Dershowitz, to the right, conservatives like Jonah Goldberg, that have detailed what is going on in the public sector, from campuses to government to marches like this, the antipathy towards Israel, the antipathy towards Jewish people. It's real.
Well, the people in charge of the march said, are you ready for this? Some folks say they are Jewish pride flags, but as a collective, we are very much pro-Palestinian. And when we see these flags, we know a lot of folks who are under attack by Israel.
Right.
So we don't want anything in the Dyke March space that can inadvertently or advertently express Zionism.
Now, the flip side of that is what President Trump has done in the international arena. There's a very good piece by Caroline Glick, who writes for the Jerusalem Post. We've had her on the show. It's excellent. She points out that Scandinavian countries like Norway and Denmark are demanding the return of money from Palestinian Human Rights and Humanitarian Law Secretariat and other organizations that are effectively terrorist groups. So the Swiss parliament passed a resolution directing the government to amend Swiss law to block funding of NGOs involved in racist, anti-Semitic, or hate incitement actions as well. She writes, for years, the Israeli government has been urging these and other European governments to stop funding such groups to no avail. What explains their abrupt change of heart? In 2 words, Donald Trump. For the years, the Obama administration quietly encouraged the Europeans to fund these groups and to ratchet up their anti-Israel positions. Doing so, the former administration believed would coerce Israel to make concessions to the PLO. But now Trump and his advisors are delivering the opposite message, and as the actions taken by Denmark, Norway, and Switzerland show, the new message is beginning to be received. So there again, who's on the side of tolerance and, respect for allies and those that are exemplars of the Judeo-Christian values upon which this country was founded, and who are anti-Semites, who are bigots, who are hate mongers? The juxtaposition couldn't be clearer. And of course, that was the Obama administration's position because they were purveyors of the same mental illness of social justice tolerance, oxymoron, that you saw on display over the weekend in Chicago. Just another example of this. And so...
But it's supposed to be a march celebrating inclusion and acceptance.
Yeah, I know. Imagine
everyone.
that. Imagine that. So now let's go back to the college campus where so much of this incubates, and let's see what's happening. There's some good news on our campus beat.
Really?
And,
This is a good is this show going to be happy now?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's some good news. You don't get to tell good news about college campus, what's going on college campuses very much. But a couple of things have happened. One is that New Jersey college professor, that Essex College that we played last week, this Lisa Durden.
Lisa Durden, yeah.
She was on with Tucker Carlson talking about their Memorial Day Blacks Only celebration.
Yeah.
Please
tell me she got fired.
She was initially suspended, and then now she has actually been fired, citing an onslaught of complaints after Lisa Durden's June 6th cable news clash. Affirmed the Newark school's support for free speech, but concluded racism cannot be fought with more racism, and they fired Lisa Durden. Let me just give you a little taste of Lisa Durden so you know what we're talking about here in case you missed it.
The whole point of Black Lives Matter, one of the points would be to speak out against singling people out on the basis of their race and punishing them for that. Because you can't control what your race is, and yet they seem to be doing that. Explain that to me.
What I say to that is boo, hoo, hoo. You white people are angry because you couldn't use your white privilege card to get invited
Lisa.
to the Black Lives Matters All Black Memorial Day celebration. Wow. Let me contextualize that for you. Memorial Day was created
I don't want
by...
you to, wait,
Memorial
so
Day
down.
was
First of all, I
created-
don't want you to contextualize.
Oh, I need to contextualize it because Memorial Day was created by black former slaves in 1865 to honor those individuals who were Union soldiers who fought and died for our freedom. So Black Lives Matter, in that same vein, decided to get together with black folks.
I'm not going to let you
honor
filibuster
black folks,
past my
to
question.
make sure that black folks were celebrated for being murdered
I don't
by
want to shut this
racist
down.
terrorists.
I don't want to shut this
If you're
down,
mad
but I
at
will.
that,
Okay.
you just...
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I just have a really simple question for you. If you don't like people excluding others on the basis of their race, and in society we agree that that's bad. I agree it's bad. You agree it's bad. Then why are you doing it? And why are you defending it now?
White folks crack me up all of a sudden when we want to have
question.
one
It's a
day
universal
for
value.
black folks to focus on ourselves. But you've been having white days forever. You don't say the words anymore because you know it's politically incorrect. But you've had an all-white Oscars, all these movies with all-white
Well, if you
actors,
don't like
movie
it,
after movie
why
after
are you
movie,
perpetuating it?
all-white TV shows with white casts over and over and over again. The Bachelorette, it took 11 seasons of a black bachelorette. Are you serious?
I mean, are you serious? That's a serious person. I mean, that's not a serious person. She seriously was a college professor at Essex College in Newark.
What did she teach?
Sociology.
Craziness?
Of course.
Oh, sociology.
Of course. I mean, she should have never. I mean, the real question, great that she was fired. How did she get hired in the first place? That tells you more about colleges than her termination. It's not just the racism. It's the intellectual vacuity of her remarks and the delivery, the immaturity.
It's also the hate. No, there's a lot of hate in her
Well,
heart.
yes, no question. But it's also sophomoric. She's a child intellectually. So she's gone. She's gone. Also, University of Delaware, the Blue Hens, they sacked Catherine Detweiler. She was a professor there who, on the occasion of Otto Warmberg's death, said that he was a spoiled, rich, white, clueless American college student who got exactly what he deserved. The University of Delaware has announced that Catherine Detweiler, who taught last spring as an adjunct faculty member, will not be rehired to teach in the university in the future. Is it wrong to me to think that Otto Warmberg got exactly what he deserved? The no longer employed professor wondered openly on Facebook. He went to North Korea for F's sake and then acted like a spoiled, naive, arrogant U.S. college student who had never had to face the consequences of his actions. She was a 62-year-old anthropology professor, also an expert on breastfeeding, if anybody's in the market.
Seriously, is that what's in her bio?
Yeah, that's what's in her CV.
That's on her resume, really?
She gone.
Well,
so those are two good news stories, but only half good news. How did they get hired in the first place, and what does that say about college campuses?
Well, I wonder if she said that on Facebook about Otto Warmbier, what she said in front of her students.
Oh, sure.
About it. That wasn't captured on social media.
Because they operate with impunity. Now, the flip side of this is one of the best
Leave the family alone. That's my advice.
Now, just because I want to say, we talk so much about what's happening on college campus because it's important and it's real, but also are the weeds growing up through the cement between the ears of the social justice crowd. And one of these individuals is this really bright young man named Zach Wood, who goes to Williams College. He spoke last week before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee about free speech on campus of Williams. You're not going to hear from, a 20-year-old, something like that, a better dissertation on the importance of free speech and intellectual freedom and the marketplace of ideas than from this young man. I mean, this is a pleasure to listen to. So listen up to Zach Wood addressing Senate Judiciary Committee on free speech.
I identify as a liberal Democrat who supports many progressive causes. Yet I adamantly believe that students should be encouraged to engage with people and ideas that they vehemently disagree with. As president of Uncomfortable Learning at Williams, I strive to broaden the range of political discourse on campus by inviting speakers with challenging, provocative, and out of the mainstream views on pressing issues of our time.
And he has gotten a lot of heat from students as well as from the administration, who canceled one of the speakers that he and his organization invited to speak on campus because he was too controversial. And he fought it. The speaker was John Derbyshire, formerly of National Review.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the point is, this is a guy standing up, not just to students who disagree with him, from a liberal Democrat perspective, as you heard, but a commitment to intellectual discourse and freedom, but also to the adults in charge of Williams, which is where Bill Bennett went, one of the great small liberal arts colleges in America, allegedly. Listen to him go on, Zach Wood, on why free speech matters so much, particularly on a college campus.
For me, free speech is not about grinding a partisan axe. It's not about promoting or advancing a particular set of ideological preferences. I care deeply about my education, and I value the freedom to interrogate all manner of contentious ideas and beliefs in hope of gaining a deeper understanding of the world and using that knowledge to one day make a positive difference in the lives of others. For me, free speech and intellectual freedom matters because free speech and intellectual freedom are among the founding principles that animate the vibrance and ensure the sustenance of our democracy.
Wow, he's good.
I mean,
when I come back in my second life, I want to be
Zach Wood.
Zach Wood.
He nailed it, and boy, listen up. And so those are some rays of sunshine on an otherwise desolate landscape in higher education in America. Robert in Northbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello.
Hey, Robert.
Actually, Oak Brook. I have
4
granddaughters. 3 of them are now in college, and they go to. 2 of them are in California, UC Santa Barbara. They told me
the Gauchos,
because I talk to them all the time. They're afraid to be white.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They're afraid. Now, the gentleman you just had on the radio, he is an African American person, I believe.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, and very intelligent. Oh, I'd have him as my president in a heartbeat. But again, I mean,
he's more grown up than the president of Williams College. He's an undergrad there.
But he he articulates well. He speaks beautifully, and he has the right mindset.
Yeah.
And again, how is it possible in today's world that kids in college are afraid to be white?
Well, thanks for the call.
We didn't choose it.
Well, we don't have to apologize for it. Thanks for the call, Robert. We need more parents who raise kids like Zach Wood. Mm-hmm. Simple as that.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's absolutely amazing that the combination of these capsules improves your health. It does tell you the value of food and nutrition.
I actually can feel a difference. I really can.
I love the product. It's wonderful. I can't live without it.
It's really helping me. Every time I take it, my body says, thank you.
This is the first winter that I went through that I didn't get a cold.
I love my fruits and veggies. I'm a line dancer, and I just turned 78, and it has made a big difference in my stamina and just my overall well-being, and I have so enjoyed them. I just love taking them and what they do for me.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code Chicago.
Hey, got a great night's sleep last night, all thanks to My Pillow. You know, the patented fill conforms to your neck and back, so you get support where you need it most to keep you in deep sleep longer and get you there faster. And you won't wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And My Pillow has the 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. And right now in the month of June, you can get 50% off the My Pillow 4-pack. That's 2 premium My Pillows, 2 Go Anywhere My Pillows, 50% off. Here's what you do. Go to MyPillow.com, type Amy in the promo code AMY to get your 50% off the 4-pack. Or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
I'm Trina Webster.
And I'm Dan Webster, founders of Z Quiet. Let me be honest, I snored.
Yeah, he did. Crazy loud.
And I was forced to sleep on the couch most nights.
Dan tried everything, including surgery, to solve his snoring problem.
Nothing worked.
So we turned to experts and created a solution that's a total game changer. A mouthpiece called Z Quiet.
Not just any mouthpiece, one that gently opens the airway where the snoring happens. In fact, it's based on the same technology as treatments costing thousands of dollars.
It allows natural jaw movement so you can talk, breathe normally, and best of all, sleep comfortably without making a sound.
And what's really cool is that it couldn't be easier. Just pop it in before you go to sleep to kick snoring out of bed.
So you can sleep quiet
with Z Quiet.
Z Quiet fits both men and women. Try it risk-free for 30 days for just $9.95. Go to getzquiet.com or text SNORE to 91011. Go to getzquiet.com or text SNORE to 91011.
Students can pray in school, but that doesn't mean they won't face opposition. This is Law and Justice with Jay Sekulow.
My daughter is on the pom-pom team at a high school here, and they had a new coaches meeting, and the new coaches meeting, under some of their guidelines, were saying that there's absolutely no prayer that is allowed in there.
These students have the right to pray as students. Now, the coaches can't lead the prayer, but if students want to get together before an event, as cheerleaders, whatever they are, they have the right to pray. It's not a violation of the law, and they should have the perfect right to do that without any problem. So it sounds like a either confusion or overreaction by school officials. Let me tell you what we're going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you in touch with our lawyers here at the American Center for Law and Justice. We'll also get you, go to our website at aclj.org. A lot of great information available there as well. So I want to encourage you to do that. You hang on the line here. We're going to get you some help.
Visit us at aclj.org. That's aclj.org.
All that extra weight is messing with your health, your sleep, your social life, even your love life. Time to take control. I'm Dr. Frank Marticello, and that's exactly what I did. I always worked out, worked hard, and no matter what I did, I couldn't lose that weight. I then saw a picture of myself, and that's what did it. I had to search for a solution. I found the ideal method. I lost 80 pounds, opened Total Life Weight Loss, and that was 9 years ago, and I've kept it off. Listen to this.
I hated being on meds needed only because I was overweight. I was tired of being tired and wearing black all the time. So I turned to Total Life Weight Loss. It was truly a life changer. Total Life Weight Loss gave me support and strategies to get rid of the weight and maintain my new current weight. I love the way I look and feel.
This is a medically developed protocol that helps you lose weight fast, get healthy, and keep it off for life. Call Total Life Weight Loss now at 708-695-5999 to book your free metabolic assessment or attend one of our free educational workshops. Again, that's 708-695-5999.
It's no secret buying a new vehicle can be a huge stressor. Trying to decide between what you like, what best fits your budget, and choosing the right dealership can create downright anxiety. Well, take a breath because Joe Cotton Ford has you covered. Buying your next vehicle from Joe Cotton Ford is a different experience. They promise no hassles, no drama, no high-pressure sales tactics, period. What's the Joe Cotton Ford difference? Well, they're a local business that cares about building a relationship with you, your family, and the community. They're not just another car dealer looking to churn and burn the next customer who walks in the door. Just ask Tracy Kahn, Vice President, General Manager, and Carol Stream, Citizen of the Year. He sets the high standards for the Joe Cotton Ford team, which volunteers hundreds of hours of community service every year. Get to Joe Cotton Ford today and drive home your new Ford car, truck, or SUV. You'll receive white glove service in a relaxed setting. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. That's joecottonford.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, another new tax is about to head our way.
Yeah, we're going to talk to the owner of Happy Foods, Barb Eastman, about why she's not so happy about taxes in Chicago and Cook County and the state of Illinois. That's at 8:38.
And the new beverage tax. Going to be tough to swallow. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Clouds and sunshine, 59 degrees in the Nissan of St. Charles newsroom. Nissan of St. Charles, home of the Lifetime Advantage warranty. Senate Republican leaders are trying to push through their new health insurance reform bill by the end of this week. However, at least 5 GOP senators now say they cannot back the bill in its current form. Ohio Governor John Kasich, one of the heavy hitters, firmly against the GOP health care overhaul bill.
Of course it needs to be fixed, but you cannot do it in a way where you deprive people of the resources they need to have a stable program.
The Senate bill is similar to a House Republican bill that passed last month. Both measures aim to replace Obamacare. The Supreme Court expected to announce later this morning whether it will take up President Trump's travel ban. The justices could decide to hear a request from the White House to have that temporary ban on travel from 6 Muslim-majority nations implemented. The ban is currently blocked by lower courts. The company behind the auto industry's biggest recall ever is filing for bankruptcy. Takata U.S.'s arm filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in Delaware. Faulty airbag inflators made by the company have been tied to at least 17 deaths. SpaceX says it successfully landed a rocket after a launch on Sunday. The Stage 1 Falcon 9 rocket landed successfully on a ship in the Pacific Ocean and will likely be reused in a future launch. Chicago police are looking for the driver of a deadly crash in Chicago's River North neighborhood. A Nissan slammed into a utility pole, split apart, and then burst into flames near Ontario and Orleans. A female passenger died at the scene. A man driving that vehicle ran off. Marlins over the Cubs 4-2 in Miami. A's complete a 3-game sweep of the White Sox with a 5-3 victory. The news is a service of the CDC's Doing It HIV testing campaign. HIV does not have a face. It can happen to anyone, anytime. And it's not just about you. It's about your community. What's important is that you get tested and tested regularly. Everyone's doing it. Are you? 8:32, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at galaxyhome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
Do you know that the time your children spend in school for 1 year is as much time as they will spend in church in over 5 years? Why would we want our children to be in a school that denies God and His truth? Christian Liberty Academy was founded in 1968 to provide a place that would affirm and strengthen what our children learn at home and in their churches. We have a great location in Arlington Heights, outstanding faculty and facilities, a strong biblical worldview emphasis, and an affordable tuition price compared to similar schools. We provide a comprehensive and accredited curriculum that will prepare your child for college and beyond. From preschool all the way through 12th grade, discover the positive difference that Christian Liberty Academy can make in their education and life. Schedule a personal tour today and get more information at ChristianLibertyAcademy.com or call 847-385 2013.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
8:35. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Like in River North, the Ontario feeder ramp to the Kennedy Expressway has just reopened and had been closed for hours after that major overnight crash. Delays on the Kennedy inbound are from Nagle to Randolph, 59 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 31 from Montrose, but 45 on the Express. The Ohio feeder still really backed up after that Ontario feeder closure. Outbound Kennedy, 25 minutes to Montrose, but an hour from downtown to O'Hare. Edens, 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 33. The Eisenhower, 51 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 32 from Manheim, outbound 57 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 42 minutes. The Rhine is 22 minutes from 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, very slow, 132 to 137, and from the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 95th most of the way to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Veterans Royal, slow Boughton most of the way to St. Charles, and the Army Trail toll to 290. I-80 westbound stop and go Larkin to Humboldt. There's ongoing road work in that area. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A breezy day ahead, clouds and sunshine. We'll have a thunderstorm possible some spots this afternoon, high 74. Currently 58. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Hey, don't be caught without the facts. Listen to me, Sean Hannity, this afternoon at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So among the confiscatory tax and spend policies in Illinois generally and Cook County and Chicago specifically, this new beverage tax, sweetened beverage tax.
Well, it's supposed to be sweetened beverage tax, but even sugar-free beverages, LaCroix water, which we buy cases of, is all going to be taxed. I mean, I know that
they call that LaCroix creep.
Yeah, I don't know that you go to. That's good. I don't know if you've ever. Do you know what a grocery store is?
I've heard of them.
Groceria store.
I've heard of them.
Yes, but I have to go every week, if not twice a week. And it's an arduous task, and you penny pinch, and you start getting coupons, and I'm a coupon clipper now, and you try and
my dad clips
save
coupons.
Oh, see, Larry and I think we'd be really good friends.
You could go to the
Cat
Cafe and clip coupons together.
Yeah,
it's nice.
But
well,
it's
that's
a big deal. If you're
that's what 74-year-old men and women do.
Well, but if you're on a fixed income or you're watching your budget, you try and cut costs as much as you possibly can.
Well, so I have not been to a grocery store
groceria
since 1997, I think. I'm not really sure how they work, but I am familiar with Happy Foods because I know people speak very highly about it on the north and northwest side. Yeah. And to get a perspective of a practitioner, it's not just always policy wonks and politicians. You want actual human beings as well that operate businesses and live lives that should be profiled. And one such lady is Barb Eastman, who's the owner of Happy Foods, and she joins us now. Barb, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
So you've got a couple of grocery stores, right?
Yes, we have one in Edgebrook, Saguenay area, and the one in Edison Park. And both of these stores border the suburbs. So
Right.
when we had the Chicago tax instituted with the beverage tax, we saw a drop in sales with that because we were on a border store.
Right, and so now what's is your take on the spiked tax for the sweetened and apparently unsweetened beverages too, which covers just about all of them? Is it really about drop in sales, flight to the suburbs? Is that the main problem that you have?
No, that will not. We'll just have a drop in sales.
Okay.
I mean, they're not going to go to the suburbs because the suburbs will be taxed
Right.
with the Cook County tax.
Right.
I think the people that are on the borders of Lake County and such, they'll see a drop in sales. But people are not going to buy the product now. They'll go. They won't either forego it or go outside of this area to get it.
Well, so you're encouraging you're encouraging customers to oppose this and do whatever they can to try and stop this. Do we have any hope of stopping this?
I think they're changing. This is in such a flux right now. We're still getting notices like how it's going to be paid, how the SNAP people are tax exempt. Well, how do you report that? How will you get up front? So now they're saying that we can register for 1 year as a distributor and pay the taxes like we do monthly. But I just don't know how they're going to do this. I mean, we're just getting notices all the time, and nobody has straight answers yet. How are we going to do this?
Well, it's so interesting too, right? Because since they can't continue, they can't politically take through the front door. They have to come up with kind of new schemes that are predicated on their good intentions, like reducing people's sugar intake.
Yeah, it's reducing obesity.
Except here's the thing, and it's like this with all of these taxes: sin taxes, cigarette taxes, red light cameras. It's the same thing. Hey, this is for your good. We don't want you to consume these products. We don't want you to illegally turn right on a red, except you have to do it. We're counting on you to do it. We've already budgeted for and spent the money we expect to realize from you doing it. So it's actually predatory government that is existing in part off extracting wealth for people's perhaps less than bad habits. I mean, less than good habits,
Exactly.
I should say.
If it was such a bad thing for people, they wouldn't let people on the SNAP or anything buy it in the first place. It'd be one of those exempted items on their receipt.
So what?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So this tax applies to all sweetened beverages, but it also includes juice, sports drink, and beverages bought at restaurants. So orange juice is healthy for me. So when it says juice, what exactly? Every juice?
They're not. I don't think it's not the juice. It has to be 60% or less fruit juice.
Yeah, sure.
So 100%, fruit juice would be okay. But even though, like your Capri Suns or anything that you serve your children that are somewhat healthy and, good for them, it'll be taxed.
Well, that's so then...
I'm going to have to buy it in cases before July.
Well, also, too...
I'm not kidding you. I'm going to.
Here's the good news, though, too, is then you'll have to hire a regulator for every store that sells these beverages to come in there with their chemist's equipment and measure the content to make sure that the packaging is accurate. So it's a real job creator, potentially, maybe.
No, I think it's a job buster. Imagine
Yes.
all the soda drivers, the pop drivers that work on commission in Cook County. Where's their income going to go? It's going to go down. They're not going to have. A lot of them are giving their notices. They're quitting.
Well,
really?
and this actually, Bob, you're probably familiar with. This is what happened in Philadelphia when they did the same thing. You saw exactly what you're talking about come to pass.
Yes, it's sad. And these men have worked for these companies for years. We've known them for years. We know about their families, and they're going to leave the business.
So let me ask you this question, just as the proprietor of these two establishments. And the grocery stores, I understand, these are narrow margin, high volume businesses, generally speaking. And so just, give people a sense of what it's like to operate two otherwise popular grocery stores, but the challenges you face compared to perhaps some of your colleagues in other areas of the country.
Well, we're extremely small, so we're the neighborhood stores, which is really good for us because we're involved in the communities and do that. But like you said, everything is marginalized. So we're on the borders of the suburbs. So you see, like with the bag tax that went in, people come in and complain, I can go to Village Crossing and not pay for bags or anything like that. And it kind of like it hurts because we're not responsible for it, but we have the realization of what it is.
And how
they're not going to shop.
And how have your property taxes gone up over the years?
Oh, they haven't gone down. So they're going up this year. So I mean, it's hard. It's hard to stay in business, and we've got every regulation that comes in. It costs us time, and that's time away from our customers.
Yes. Yeah. The regulatory impact too is an understated aspect of this. I mean, the idea of the paperwork you're talking about just on the beverage tax, monthly reporting on the sales there, in addition to all of the other reporting you're doing, that's a real cost to your business as well.
Well, and it's a cost of this new process coming in with, you have to have your IT guys come in and redo another tax on this. Mm-hmm. It costs nothing but money.
I wonder what you hear from all the customers that come into your stores. I mean, since we're talking about mainly Chicago denizens in those communities, Edgebrook and the 41st Ward, where a lot of police and fire live. What do you hear from them about what's going on in the city?
Well, they feel that they're being overtaxed. That's number one, and they feel that they're adults. They can decide what they want to drink, as far as sugar drinks. That they have the ability to decide for themselves. They don't need the government saying, we're fighting obesity, when that's just really,
it's lie.
Not even true.
But do you trust...
If they were fighting obesity and they wanted you to drink water, they wouldn't have the Chicago water tax.
Exactly. Got to flush out the system.
They don't need to be healthy, and they're not doing it.
So do you trust, now here again, we have yet another tax. Do you trust the politicians that they're going to be responsible with this new revenue coming their way?
Hilarious.
Well, I would trust them more if they took care of the old revenue first and made that work, and not keep just raising up the taxes just to pay for a black hole.
Yeah. What do you think they could tax next? I mean, there's sugary drinks, there's this shaming of...
Snacks. It should be snacks then. J's, Fritos.
Yeah. Or candy bars.
Oh, well. No, you've got a candy. No, you've got a candy.
Yeah, right.
Oh, we have a candy tax?
Well, Ed Burke has previously raised the idea of a trans fat tax, so, that's coming. There's no question. There's no question, and the question is, what's the response going to be? Right, that's ultimately the question. You're a business owner, an entrepreneur, standing up, but do you feel like the business community and your customers are ready to stand up to the political class in Chicago and Cook County and Illinois? That's the question.
I'd like to see them do that, But again, you've got a lot of people that work for the city and stuff like that, and so where are they going to go? They're stuck here. The police and fire have to live within the borders, the teachers. So I don't know if they're ready to do that yet. If they see their bills hike up, it's like when you've got a 99-cent bottle of 2 liter and you're going to be paying $1.79 for it now. Maybe that'll, wake them up.
Wake me up. I'm seriously bulk shopping before July 1st.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're coming with me, Dan, to this grocery store place.
No. You both can come to Happy Foods. We'll greet you.
Oh, I've been to Happy Foods. I love Happy Foods.
All right. You can show me around. Let me understand how it works.
The other half live.
Down the aisles.
Yeah, thank you. She is Barb Eastman, owner of Happy Foods, 2 locations, Edgebrook, as well as Edison Park. Barb, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck fighting this tax. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Dan.
Who's buried in... Wait, what's his name?
Right.
Frank. Who's buried in Frank Kerrigan's tomb? In my best Groucho Marx impersonation. That wasn't it.
But first, here's your forecast. Sunshine right now, but clouds moving in and possible thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, a high of 74 degrees. Tonight, a stray evening shower, low of 52. And for tomorrow, it's just going to be a pleasant day around here. Plenty of sunshine, warm, a high of 77 degrees. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Good news, right? Jim Talamonte, finally?
Yes, that's right, Amy and Dan. The Ontario feeder ramp has reopened. It had been closed for hours after a fatal overnight collision. Traffic's still pretty heavy, and there was a long Gapers delay on the Ohio feeder, and that's still jammed coming inbound. Looking out on the Kennedy, about an hour from O'Hare to downtown, 45 minutes from Montrose in the locals, 53 in the express lanes. Outbound, 16 minutes to Montrose, 41 to O'Hare. Edens is fine inbound, but outbound it's heavy Peterson to Willow, 33 minutes. Montrose to Lake Cook. The Eisenhower, an hour. Thorndale to downtown, 36 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 50 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes. 3:55 to the drive. Outbound 42 minutes. Raleigh in 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State's heavy southbound, 132 to 137. From the Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge, northbound 87th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
This is a special alert for Americans who owe more than $10,000 in back taxes. Get ready for a toll-free hotline number. Call and get free information on how to take advantage of new initiatives that could significantly reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. Call Stop IRS Debt today at 800-763-4701. Learn how you can stop collection calls, IRS letters, bank levies, and wage garnishments, all by using a proven A-plus BBB-rated tax system that negotiates with the IRS for you. If you haven't filed returns in years or you're already in a payment plan, you can still get tax relief. The government is ready to work out a generous program that can resolve your tax debt quickly. Be warned, this situation won't last forever and your tax debt will only get worse if you don't act now. Do not try to handle it yourself. Call Stop IRS Debt now for free information. 800-763-4701. That's 800-763-4701. 800-763-4701.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. In 2008, Barack Obama scaled Chicago's big government trafficking operation nationally. The nation got only a small taste of the damage Chicago's RICO-style governance inflicts. Illinois has not been so fortunate. The kleptocratic kingpins who run the city that works you over have relegated Illinois to the status of a cautionary tale as to how a poisonous government-centric culture turns the state into one giant Ponzi scheme. Politics pervades everything in Illinois. The result is that the nation's highest combined state and local tax burden has proven no match for the spending appetites of Pauls who've racked up $250 billion in debt while skipping out on more tabs than Leona Helmsley in her heyday. With collapse in the offing, the Sicarios for Illinois' political crime family seek a federal lifeline in the form of state bankruptcy. Congress should consider removing sovereign immunity protections to make an example of those who turned Illinois into the bad example. Of America's 50 laboratories of democracy, Illinois is the meth lab. If we want to prevent more states from getting hooked on junk governance, the Bernie Madoff treatment should be applied to those who cook the books in Illinois.
You are about to hear from Dr. Douglas Howard.
After 20 years and tens of thousands of success stories, Balance of Nature is still the only pure whole food supplement available. Balance of Nature has served more than 500 million servings of fruits and vegetables. Don't accept imitations, copies, or substitutions. Our success stories are unique to Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. You'll know you have the real thing when you open the bottles and see, smell, and taste real produce.
It is worth every penny I pay because they really have made such a difference in my life. It is making me feel a whole lot better.
Even my doctor thought it was a good product.
Take Dr. Howard's Health Challenge and find out how to get 2 free sets of fruits and veggies. We'll even ship them to you for free. Call now for details.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code Chicago.
All right, I have to admit it was an eyesore. The chipping and paint peeling on our front and back porch, it looked awful. But thanks to CertaPro painters, the porch looks brand new. The painters who showed up were professional, respectful. They were done in just a few hours. And when they left, the house looked brand new. They really are the best in the business. And it's not too late to book your exterior painting project. There are several spots open on CertaPro's summer schedule. Here's an idea. Let CertaPro painters transform your home while you're on vacation and return to a freshly painted house. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year. And so we invite you to experience the CertaPro difference. For a free estimate, call 1-800-GO-CERTA, CERTA, or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C. Get that painting project off your to-do list. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
The Grand Victoria Casino Summer Concert Series is back. Tickets are on sale now at gbctickets.com. July 1st, it's the Redneck Woman, Gretchen Wilson Live. With special guests, the Charlie Daniels Band, and a fireworks spectacular after the show. July 22nd, rock out with Grammy winners Three Doors Down and alternative rockers Filter. August 19th, it's the Yestival starring Yes. Fresh from their induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Todd Rundgren and Carl Palmer. September 3rd, 80s legend Belinda Carlisle of the Go-Go's. With special guest Smash Mouth playing hit after hit. Don't miss the Grand Victoria Casino Summer Concert Series. Tickets are going fast. Get yours today at gbctickets.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
A good parking lot is essential to a good building and a good business.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great. We are an industry leader in seal coating. You can trust our company to do the work for your company. We have the same traditional values as you. We use a process and application that makes sure you get a great job that lasts a long time. I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Go to our website, GreatParkingLots.com. Check it out, GreatParkingLots.com.
Go to GreatParkingLots.com. Schedule a free inspection and get a quote to make your parking lot a great parking lot. Save the expense. Fix, don't replace. Contact SKC Construction now for commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
I used to play a lot of sports in college, but when I got older, my legs started to burn and ache, making it hard to work out. Then I noticed those varicose and spider veins. I couldn't believe it. I thought this only happened to my mom and her friends.
The professionals at Vein Clinics of America have performed over 1 million personalized procedures for their patients, making them the largest, most experienced vein treatment center in the U.S. Using state-of-the-art laser and minimally invasive treatments, they can begin restoring your legs back to health in as little as 1 hour with no downtime, and most treatments are covered by insurance.
I called Vein Clinics of America, and they fixed my legs. No more ugly veins. Now I can run and do squats again.
Guys, get back in the game. Call now and schedule a free fast-track consultation with one of our doctors and learn how you can finally get rid of those embarrassing varicose and spider veins. Space is limited, so call now. 800-402-0707. That's 800-402-0707. 800-402-0707.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, Amy, who's buried in Frank Harrigan's tomb?
And what's on second?
Yeah. So
I've always wanted.
That's Abbott and Costello,
Oh,
not
yeah,
the Marx
not the
Brothers.
Marx Brothers.
You're a contemporary of the Marx Brothers. I think you would know that. Groucho Marx, of course, famously on Bet Your Life would ask contestants, who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Oh, that's right.
And it was a trick question because Grant isn't buried. He and his wife are interred in a mausoleum. You see what he did there? So the question is, who's buried in Frank Kerrigan's tomb?
Who's Frank Kerrigan, first of all?
Orange County resident Frank Kerrigan.
Oh, the Frank
Frank M.
Kerrigan?
Kerrigan. Perhaps it's Grant. I don't know. because the Kerrigan family was notified by the coroner that their son had passed away. And so they had a $20,000 funeral for their dearly departed son, who suffered from mental illness, until, and that was all well and good until they got a call from the son, till Dad got a call from the son saying, "Hi, Dad, I'm not dead." Apparently, the coroner's office misidentified the body. They didn't have a fingerprint match, so they did a visual identification and looked at the location of where the son died and made the determination it was Frank Kerrigan, the younger, and it wasn't.
Oh.
That's a real faux pas.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's an apology card for that.
Thanks for making us part of your morning. Here's Mike Scott.
A woman killed in a Chicago crash earlier this